Before we get started with tonight's show, I gotta thank the awesome super chatters from last week's episode. Starting off with Jay Pylon. Jay sent in a very generous super chat of $10 last show. Dude, thank you so much. That was so appreciated. That was so kind of you. Guys, check out Jay Pylon's channel. He does not just movie reviews, he talks about music. He also talks about sports and trading cards and autographs. He's got a whole bunch of content over on his channel that I know a lot of you are gonna be into. His link is in the description. Definitely check him out. Thank you so much, Jay. Next, The Ace Avenue, fresh off of just crossing 1,000 subscribers, dude, congratulations, so well earned. Ace has been an incredible supporter of the channel, not just through the super chats, but also by being a channel member, dude. Thank you so much. Definitely check out The Ace Avenue, guys. Great content, great guy, a lot of fun stuff over there. He also just dropped merch, so he is killing it over at his channel. Once again, dude, congratulations on your 1,000 subscribers. Very well earned. Let's go get him to 2,000, guys. His link is down in the description below. We've also got very good friend of mine and friend of the channel, not just friend, but wonderful supporter, also a beloved channel member, Zach Attack Reviews. Guys, if you haven't checked out Zach's channel yet, you're really missing out. Not only does he do super in-depth movie reviews, he's also very funny. He's so charismatic. He's got a live show on Tuesday breaking down movie news even before I break it down. It's a great show. He usually has some fun guests over there. Definitely check out Zach Attack. And dude, thank you so much for all of your support. It is truly appreciated, my friend. Also a beloved channel member coming up next, movie reviews with Ryan Lane. Ryan, thank you so much for all of your support. Ryan does movie reviews usually twice a week. He's got a great one for Civil War up right now. His link is down in the description as well. Definitely check out his channel. Go send him some love and support. Thank you so much, my friend. And finally, but definitely not least, another beloved channel member, Michael Entity. Not just a fantastic YouTuber doing movie reviews out there, guys, also a filmmaker of his own right. He's got a new film coming out called Riley later this year. He's got a short film, a horror film coming up. You can check out the trailer on his channel right now. His link is down in the description below. Thank you so much, Michael, for all the support towards the channel and for being a beloved channel member. Definitely go check him out, guys. Check out all of these guys, these amazing supporters of the channel. They are what's able to keep this channel going the way that it's going, and I'm able to do this every week because of amazing supporters and viewers like you guys. Thank you so much. Tonight on Zach Milne Talks Live, after rumors and speculations, we finally have the official voice casting for Shadow in Sonic 3, and it's none other than John Wick himself, Keanu Reeves. Deadpool and Wolverine is one of the most anticipated movies coming out in the next couple months here, but it's not going to be a Deadpool 3, according to the director himself. Steven Spielberg is out here. He is making a new film. It's going to be an original done by him, and it's gonna be about UFOs. Sound a little familiar? And finally, Michael Douglas, Hank Pym from the Ant-Man films himself, he's come out and he says, look, you know what? I don't think I want to come back to the MCU or the Ant-Man franchise. All this and more on Zach Milne Talks Live. It's you, it's me, and we're starting right now. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Zach Milne Talks Live, baby. Yeah, we got another show going. We're here, we're doing it. We're a little late. Apologies, as always. I feel like I'm always a little late to these things. Something always goes a little bit wrong. One of the reasons I am late is because right before the show, well, a couple hours before the show, but it takes a little bit of time to get your thoughts in order and stuff. We actually have a change in topic tonight. We will not be talking about the Steven Spielberg movie. I've replaced that because we've now got word that Quentin Tarantino has canceled his newest movie coming up. So I want to talk about that instead, to be honest. So I had to last minute shuffle some things around, but we're here. We're going to talk about all those predetermined topics, as well as the Quentin Tarantino movie being canceled. And if you're new and you haven't been to the show, here's how it's going to work. We're going to go through those predetermined topics we talked about at the top of the show. Between those, we're going to take your live comments and questions. And if you want to send in a super chat with your comment or question, I know a lot of you guys have YouTube channels on your own, or if you just want to send in one to support the channel, we have a guide here we like to go by. For $1.99, you'll get a community post made linking to your channel at the end of the show. For $2.99, you'll get a community post as well as the link in the description of this video to your channel. And for $4.99 or more, you get the community post as well as the link in the description of this video, as well as next episode's video for your channel, and a special video shout out like you saw at the beginning of the show for the super chatters of last week. But as always, guys, super Super thanks also. This also extends to to super thanks, but super chats and super thanks are not required to get your comment or question answered. We will go through as many comments and questions as we can possibly get through. Sometimes it is a lot, but we still do it because I love you guys. On top of that, I just want to let you guys know that this is not the only live show that we do on the channel. We actually have a members-only live show called Members Talk Live. Now, for $2.99 a month, you can watch the show live, or for $6.99 a month, you can actually join the show and talk about the discussions and the topics that we're going to be talking about. Happens Saturday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Have to be 18 or older. Check out this little clip, by the way, of the last show we did on Members Talk Live. This is us talking about whether or not we think Scary Movie is a good idea to bring back.
You can do like a Scream thing where you bring, once again, the young, good-looking people, and then you have the OGs, and you can do that because, once again, we've had a bunch of Screams since we've had Scary Movie, which Scary Movie was a riff on Scream. Like, the original Scary Movie was supposed to be like this riff on Scream. And yeah, like I mean, are people gonna go see it? I mean, the guy who's doing Fast and the Furious is producing it, so they got money. So as long as you get some box office stars, like some young stars, you get what's David Corn Sweat, the new Superman, and like some and you know, some young up and cut, the girl who looks like Margot Robbie, like from Sex Education, like you get them in the movie.
Dude, get everybody big right now. Get Sydney Sweeney, get Timothy Chalamet, get Tom Holland, get all of them.
You are not getting those people in this movie.
No, that's what I'm saying. Get the people who look like those people. Like get the closest person to that.
Already thinking of a joke of that scene in Thanksgiving when he's eating somebody. I already know what the youngins will
or even Hereditary.
Or even what's the one with the clown? Art the Clown?
Terrifier.
Oh my god! Like,
I would love to see that.
Oh, they totally do Terrifier. Absolutely, yeah.
But the younger generation will see, oh shoot, that person from the Percy Jackson is in this, or Jenna Ortega's in this. I'll go check it out. Because if Jenna Ortega can Mills Girl make money, she can make Scary Movie make money.
So I just thought of a way to make Scary Movie make $1 billion.
Let's do it. Let's hear it.
Melissa Barrera and Jenna Ortega, the Scream Girls. I'm telling you, the Scream Girls show up in Scary Movie.
Wow,
those jokes write themselves.
Yeah, so that's all the madness that goes on with Members Talk Live. Again, $2.99 a month. You can watch us record live for $6.99 if you're older than 18. We can have you on the show. You can join the madness. We'd love to have you. All the information for that is down in the description below. All right, guys, with all that out of the way, let's start the show. And let's start the show by getting into your live comments and questions and seeing who's here tonight, seeing who's giving us our time. We got Film Review Central. What's going on, man? Thanks for joining us, as always. Great to see you in here, my friend. Says, hey, mate, can't wait for tonight's show. Are you looking forward to Knuckles TV show? Well, first of all, thank you so much, man, for the kind words there. Yeah, the Knuckles TV show, we're going to talk about it a little bit later on with our first topic. I'm not the biggest fan of Sonic. The movies in particular, I haven't been a huge fan of the live-action ones. I like them well enough, but I'm not a huge fan. But yes, I am actually looking forward to the Knuckles TV show. Didn't really care much for Knuckles in Sonic 2, but this TV show, the trailer they put out, it won me over. I thought it looked funny. I thought it looked really, really funny and actually kind of good. It's only 6 episodes, so it's not going to be that hard to get through. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm probably, when does that come out at the end of this? Does that come out tomorrow? Does Knuckles come out tomorrow? Because does it come out? I can't remember when it comes out. But either way, I'll set aside time to find time. I will find time to check it out for sure, man. The Overthrown Alliance with 2 Perspectives, what's going on? Thank you for joining us. He says, hope you had an awesome week and everything is going well. As you as well, my friend. As to you, as what I meant to say. I send the same to you, the same words. I give them back to you. No, that's really kind of you to ask, man. Thank you so much. He also goes on to say, and just wondering, have you started the Fallout show yet? I watched episode 1. I watched episode 1 with my brother because he is hooked on this show, so he really wanted to show me episode 1, and I wanted to see what they had to offer. I liked it. I didn't love it. I think it's good, and I'm gonna continue watching. It's got me invested enough that I do want to see where it goes. I thought it was a nice setup for all the characters, Lucy, Maximus, and the Ghoul. I'm very curious to see where they go with the Ghoul, but yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by the first episode because I don't know anything about the video game. I've never really even played the video game. I've seen my friends play the video game, but I've never like touched it. So, hey, there you go. But yeah, I liked it. The Overthrown Alliance also goes on to say, and also, how have you been finding the movies this year compared to last year? This year is not as good as last year, because last year, already we had Scream 6, loved it. Super Mario Brothers, had a great time with it. John Wick 4, loved it. Missing, loved it. I enjoyed Quantumania. I know that's kind of a controversial take, but I enjoyed Quantumania. And this year, the only movie I can say that I've loved is Dune Part 2 so far. And I don't really even remember much of what else I saw. So it's nowhere near as good as last year up until this point. And just jumping down a little bit because we have a super chat in here. We got a super chat from Jay Pylon again. Dude, thank you so much. A $5 super chat. Jay, you're too generous, my friend. Thank you so much for that, man. And welcome. Thank you for being here. He says, Aliens re-release. Are they re-releasing it in theaters or are they re-releasing it on disc? Because I'll tell you the honest truth for both. If they're re-releasing it on disc, I don't care all that much. I already have the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray looks good enough, in my opinion. I don't really feel like I'm going to buy the movie again. If they're releasing it in theaters, that also doesn't mean much to me because my theater doesn't take any of these re-releases. You guys on Twitter, and probably just in the States in general, have the Spider-Man movies coming out in re-release. You've got the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies playing in theaters right now. I saw the clip on Twitter. I saw them cheering in the auditorium when Spider-Man was swinging at the end of the movie. My theater doesn't do that. I don't have the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies playing around me. And dude, when I tell you, I can't believe, I'm so jealous that you guys get to hear Nickelback in the theater. I mean, that's a dream come true, in my opinion. But I would love to participate in those. If Aliens was getting a re-release in theaters, I would love to go see Aliens in theaters. But around here, it just ain't reality, unfortunately. Go back up to where we left off. We got Old Maddie. What's going on, Old Maddie? Thanks for joining us. He says, this news made my day. Yeah, about the Keanu Reeves as Shadow. A lot of people are very excited about that. Collector Movie Man says, hey, Zach, did you end up seeing Civil War? Yes, I did. And I did the one thing on YouTube. I broke my rule that I know I'm not supposed to do, but I did it anyways. I announced the video was coming before there was a video. I really do believe in that. Do not announce a date. Do not announce that something is coming if you don't have it ready to go. Because that's bit me in the butt so many times. And sure enough, it happened again. So with Civil War, what happened with Civil War was I was supposed to see it Friday. Something came up Friday, so I pushed it to Saturday. Saturday got chaotic, and so I pushed it to later Saturday evening, and it ended up getting pretty late by the time I went to see the movie that when I got home, I was just deadbeat tired to do a review. And then Sunday rolled around, and then Sunday was a little bit busier as well, and I just didn't make time to get the review done by Sunday. And now it's what, Wednesday? And at this point, I'm probably not going to put a review out because it's just too late. It's kind of already, it's almost in its second weekend. I'm going to see Abigail tomorrow, so I'm going to get a review out for that. And then on, what's it called? The Warfare of Ungentlemanly Men or whatever, that new Guy Ritchie movie, that's coming out on Amazon Prime, so I got to catch that this weekend too. So yeah, I'm just not going to be able to put a Civil War review out there. Unfortunately, I was kind of bummed to do that to you guys. But Civil War, I will say this, I thought it was okay. I was kind of let down by it. I wasn't blown away by it. I thought the cinematography and the technical aspects of the movie were gorgeous and breathtaking, and the Jesse Plemons scene was like my favorite scene. It was definitely the most intense and riveting. Didn't care too much for the characters, and I felt like the movie wanted you to interpret more of what was going on than explaining what was going on. And not that that's bad, but for me, it kind of fell flat, and it made me actually feel kind of numb to what was going on. It just kind of felt, I don't know. I can't really explain it here because I need to sit down and actually like record a video to explain all my thoughts on that one. But yeah, I apologize to you guys who are looking forward to the Civil War review. But yeah, I thought it was all right. It would probably be a week recommend. I don't know. Jay Pylon says, thumbs up. Hello all. Well, hello to you, Jay. Once again, thank you so much, man, for stopping by. Collective Movie Man says, I'm seeing The Challengers next Monday in an early screening in Dolby Cinema. That is awesome, Collective Movie Man. By the way, thank you for joining us, Collective Movie Man. I don't know if I got to say that yet, but thank you for joining us. It's a great pleasure to have you here. He goes on to say, I've been calling The Challengers movie Thursday's Zendaya three-way because it looks like she has a three-way in that movie. It does look like a pretty sexual movie. It does. And I don't know if I'm gonna watch it. 80s Kid from the 90s says, what's up, Zach? Did you see the newest episode of 97? First of all, thank you so much for joining us, 80s Kid from the 90s. Always great to see you in here. Always great to be talking with you. I did not see the newest episode, but I did catch up to episode 5 the other day. I thought episode 5 was excellent. This show has completely surpassed any expectations I had for the show. Because I wasn't even really paying attention to the show. I didn't really care about this show. I didn't grow up watching the original show very much. I caught a couple episodes here and there on TV that I remember it. But I never sat down and just watched all of it. Was never that attached to it. But this has been a great revival of an animated TV show. I've been very, very impressed by it. And episode 5 went places I was not expecting this kind of show to go, and it was awesome. Very much looking forward to seeing what episode 6 has in mind. 80s Kid from the 90s says, whenever we get the MCU X-Men film, I hope Sinister is the villain. I mean, after, was he in episode 3? Or was that someone else? No, I think it was in episode 3. After episode 3, I'd be down. I'd be down for that. 80s Kid from 90 says, also, what did you think of the Watcher cameo? That was in episode 5, and I thought it was very clever. I thought it was very... I love those, like, meticulous attention to details. Like, someone was thinking, like, oh, this is going to be a major event. Who watches major events? The Watcher watches major events. We should just draw him in here somewhere. And I thought it was really cool. I thought it was super dope that they did that, and I'm looking forward to it. Know what I have been doing? I've been reading more comics lately because my brother turned me on to this app. It's like Marvel Unlimited. It's like $10 a month and you get digital comics. Because comics are just so expensive. I just never bothered to delve into them. But I've been reading some comics a little bit lately. So I understand a little bit more of like the Watcher and the mythology and all that stuff behind it. Envire Earth 2, what's going on? Thanks for joining us, Envire Earth 2. Always late where you are when the show's going on, so I appreciate it so much that you're giving your time to be here where it's very late at your time. He says, hey, Zach, what's your thoughts on Sam Raimi potentially directing Spider-Man 4 Tom Holland? It's a rumor. I guess Tobey would be more likely to appear, but less likely Tobey Spider-Man 4. Yeah, this is the big rumor going around right now, and I've thought about making it a topic, but it's a rumor, so I decided not to. If it's official, we'll definitely talk about it. I think it's interesting. I think, on the one hand, I think I could see it making sense because Sam Raimi is kind of in Marvel's pocket right now. He just did Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness for them, which went on to make like $955 million. So, hey, that's like their biggest hit. Aside from Spider-Man No Way Home, I think that's their biggest hit they've had in like the past number of movies in this new era. So you get the guy who made Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness $955 million, which was already kind of a controversial, divisive film amongst the fans. You give him Spider-Man again, that's almost a guaranteed hit. I mean, that really is almost a guaranteed hit. And you also get the benefit of Sam Raimi has done Spider-Man before. I mean, obviously the Tobey Maguire films, he did those Spider-Man films. They are beloved. As mentioned before, they're playing in theaters right now, and people are going in droves to go recapture the magic of those films. If Sam Raimi could bring that magic that he brought in his iteration of Spider-Man films from the early aughts into the MCU with Tom Holland, I would be thrilled. I would be so happy to see that. Now, with the MCU of it all, I don't think we'll ever get that tone and feel of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man films again. Even if he was to come in and do Spider-Man 4, Sony still has a handle on this. Marvel and Sony still talking, still in some cases battling over directions to go for Spider-Man 4. I would hate to see Sam Raimi get caught in another mix where he's back with Spider-Man and he's got studio influence just messing up his ideas and messing up his plan. Maybe the movie comes out badly, I don't know. But where Spider-Man is right now in the MCU with Tom Holland, basically no one knows who Spider-Man is, no one knows who Peter Parker is. He's basically completely on his own in the MCU. To give Sam Raimi that, and to kind of, all right, Sam, do what you did with Tobey's and get us into like the Daily Bugle college years and bring back the magic that fans loved. I would love to see that. I think I could see the studios thinking that way. At the same time, He already did 3 Spider-Man films. Would they really go back to Sam Raimi to get him to do more? Would Sam Raimi want to do another Spider-Man if it wasn't his Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire? And that's another thing too, is if you get Sam Raimi to do this, is this going down the direction of the rumored Sony path where they wanted to do another multiverse movie? They wanted to do another Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland multiverse movie, which if you get Sam Raimi to do Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, you probably can get Tobey Maguire to come back a little bit easier because Sam and Tobey, they're tight. So do I believe this rumor? Personally, it's close, but no. I don't believe the rumor. I don't think we're going to see Sam Raimi actually do Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. I think it's more likely that he would do Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire before he would do Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland. But if they were to announce that Sam Raimi was doing Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland, I wouldn't necessarily fall out of my seat. I would be very curious to see what he was going to do, and I would be very excited to have him back in the Webheads world. That's all I'll say about that. If this becomes official, we'll talk further about it, but as far as this rumor goes, it's one that I'm very, very much watching, keeping an eye on, because I want to see where it goes. That was almost a topic of itself. Enviro2 says, what happened to Aaron Taylor Johnson rumor about Bond? Yeah, I mean, we covered that a couple weeks back. Basically, there was 2 conflicting stories going on. The Sun said that it was official, and then I think it was the BBC said that actually we heard that it wasn't. So that never got confirmed. So we're still waiting to hear who the Bond is going to be. Enviro2 says, do you think the Joker 2 will be rated 18? It's already I think it's already rated R. I think they already confirmed that it's rated R. I don't know if that's the same as 18 where you are, but I'm pretty sure it is rated R. Yeah. Collector Movement says Joker 2 is going to be rated R. Enviro 2 says in England we just say 18. Then yes, it is rated 18, man. Collector Movement says for strong violence, partial nudity, and sexual content. Yep, exactly. That's what we read a couple weeks back. Yep, that lines up. Dakota Man Movies, what's going on? Dakota, thanks for joining us, my friend. He says, hello, ready for Transformers 1 trailer tomorrow. It's premiering in space. I don't really care at the moment. I'm gonna watch it. I don't know if I'm gonna do a trailer reaction to it yet because I'm just like, I don't know how hyped I would get from the trailer. But yeah, I'm gonna watch it tomorrow. I'll check it out. But I'm not the biggest Transformers guy in the animated realm of it. Like, it's cool you got Chris Hemsworth coming in. It's cool you got Brian Tyree Henry in there as Megatron. I think he's Megatron, but yeah, it's not something that I'm like super amped about. So I'll probably check it out, but I don't think I'll do a reaction. Enviro2 says, trigger warning, I heard Joker 2 had RAPE scenes. Is it possible the Joker will RAPE Harley Quinn? I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't do that. I feel like that is, even though it's a Joker movie and it's rated R, I feel like that would be pushing it. I feel like that would be just a little bit, not even a little bit, I feel like that would be very distasteful. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to go that route. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe they do. And they sing a song about it. I don't know. That sounds awful. But no, I don't think that particular scene is going to happen. I'd be curious to hear where you heard that from, though, man. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane, one of our beloved channel members. Thank you so much for being here, my friend. How's it going? He says, hey, guys, how's it hanging? Doing well, man. Doing well. Toxic Gamer 331, what's going on, my friend? Says, hi, Zach. How's your day been? Enviro2, Toxic Gamer returns. Toxic Gamer is back from Universal. How'd it go, man? Hope you had a great time. You went with that friend of yours, right? I hope you guys had a great time. Enviro2 says, I guess this is why Zach was late. Yep, I was just waiting for Toxic Gamer to get in here. That's exactly why I was late. Collector Movie Man says, hey, Zach, I'll be in the live stream after I'm done finishing Beetlejuice. It's just about over. Hey, it sounds great, man. I hope you're enjoying Beetlejuice. I like Beetlejuice quite a bit. It's one of my favorite, if not my favorite Tim Burton movie, because I don't like very many of his movies. The ending does fall flat for me. I'm very curious to see what they're going to do with Beetlejuice. Enviro2 says, nice Jaws shirt. I've seen Jaws. I've never seen Jaws. I think it would give me too much anxiety. Well, as I always like to say, thank you so much for mentioning my shirt. I had nothing to do with it. I just purchased it, but thank you so much for complimenting me for it. No, I love Jaws. I was like you. I thought Jaws was going to freak me out. I'm still very much a scaredy cat. Not as much as I was when I was younger, but when I was younger, I could not watch anything. It would freak me out. It would just terrify me. Whereas in high school, I finally broke down and I decided to watch Jaws because I was just like getting really into more movies that I was being like I've mentioned before. I didn't watch an R-rated movie until I was like 17, 18 years old, just like with my upbringing and stuff. So yeah, I didn't watch Jaws till I was just about to graduate in grade 12, and I loved it. I loved it so much. And it was so much better than I thought it was going to be, because it's not really about the shark. It's really about these three different men in their community coming together to fight for their community to save it from this threat. There's a lot more about the human characters than there is about the shark. It's not just a jump scare fest the entire time. It's got a great story, great characters. It's actually got some humor. The humor in Jaws, I don't feel like it's talked about enough. It's got some good humorous moments. I mean, everything with Cooper is like amazing. I love Richard Dreyfuss in that movie. I recommend it. I strongly recommend it. I think you should check out Jaws. I don't think it'll give you anxiety. Well, I mean, if you're already afraid of the ocean, you're already afraid of sharks, then yeah, maybe it will. But I live nowhere near the ocean, so I don't really have to worry about going into the ocean very often, so I don't get that much anxiety from it. But yeah, I would strongly recommend Jaws. It's brilliant. I mean, who else would disagree with that? It's brilliant. Toxic with 331 says, I thought Keanu Reeves was a good choice for Shadow even before it was announced. I didn't even hear that he was rumored for it. I heard the Hayden Christensen rumor more than I heard Keanu Reeves, but we'll talk about that in a minute, my friend. Movie reviews with Ryan Lane says, I'm surprised Marvel still wants to do Ant-Man 4. I feel like Ant-Man 3 really killed people's enthusiasm for the series. There's the rumor that they've already killed Ant-Man 4. There's the rumor that they already killed Ant-Man 4, which we'll talk more about, too, in that topic. Toxic Game with 331 says, was that Steven Spielberg movie maybe E.T. 2? Enviro 2 says E.T. 2 would be huge. I don't think so, because the article... It's very vague. There's not much in the article. It was an article on Deadline that was going through a bunch of these like legendary directors' works and what they did and where they're at now. And in that, it was like a blip where they mentioned like the rumor or sources say that Steven Spielberg's next film is going to be a UFO story based off of his original idea. He's writing it with David Koepp, the person who's writing who wrote Jurassic Park and is writing the new Jurassic World movie. So, I mean, there was. I mean, it's not officially confirmed, but it's in Deadline, so I believe the source is there. But, I mean, the thing that came to my mind when I heard it was Close Encounters of the Third Kind. And I was, maybe, if it was going to be a sequel to anything, I could see it being a sequel to Close Encounters of the Third Kind. But I don't think it was going to be a sequel to anything. I don't think that Steven Spielberg was going to connect it to any of his past movies. I think it was totally going to be original and fresh. And you know what? With David Koepp working on it, I mean, they brought the magic of Jurassic Park together. David Koepp is a brilliant writer. Him and Steven Spielberg teaming back up again, I'm really curious to see it. I'm really interested to see it. It could be something special. Toxic Game with Ether 1 says they could do something similar to the E.T. ride from Universal. I don't think we'll ever get an E.T. Legacy sequel or E.T. 2. I just don't think it'll happen. Movie reviews with Ryan Lane says, I'm so bummed I missed out on the show last week, but tax season is now over, so I can participate more often now. Awesome, dude. Looking forward to having you back on Members Talk Live. We'll see you on Saturday. Enviro2 says, get Charlie Sheen back for Scary Movie. I don't think you'll be seeing Charlie Sheen come back for a little bit. J Pilot says, thanks for the shout out. Well, thank you very much for all the support, my friend. Enviro2 says, member chat looks like chaos mode from Call of Duty. Oh yeah, we get pretty wild. We did a jump. Oh, shoot. Good thing we did a jump because this didn't come through. Michael Entity. Look at that. $2 for Michael Entity. Dude, thank you so much. Beloved channel member and friend. And thank you so much, dude. It says, Zach is the Martin Scorsese of YouTubers. A genius. I don't know about that. Man. I'm not going to go that far for myself, but I appreciate that. That's very kind of you to say. DJ's Family of Nerds has been a member for 8 months. Dude, thank you so much for all the support, man. Miss you on the show, but I understand you're busy with life and you got your own things going on. I hope you're doing well, dude. Says, I see more viewers than likes in here right now. Everyone liked the video. On another note, how you doing, buddy? Hope all is well. Well, thank you so much, dude, for getting the encouragement going for that. Yeah, the likes do help. Absolutely, guys. I appreciate all the support for that. I'm doing well, DJ. I hope you're doing well, too. I saw that you took your little one to Shrek 2 for his very first movie. Smart choice. That's an excellent first movie to take him to. I hope you guys had a blast. All right. Wow, you guys are annihilating this chat. Absolutely annihilating it. Thank you guys so much. We got movie reviews with Ryan Lane. Keanu has impressed voiceover work, Cyberpunk 2077, Super Pets, and now the Sonic 3 movie. Yeah, I mean, I forgot that Keanu Reeves was in Super Pets. He was he Batman? I think Keanu Reeves was Batman in Super Pets, if I remember correctly. I didn't like Super Pets all that much. Toxic Game with 331 says, what were the rides you remember loving the most from Universal? I rode the Jurassic Park ride all day long. I rode it all day long. We were from Canada, and I don't remember exactly how it happened, but this lady came up to us, and there was like this Despicable Me, like it was Gru's house. It was some kind of ride. I can't remember what it was. And this lady came up to us, and she was like, hey, do you guys want a behind the scenes look at this ride? And we were just like, sure, we're from Canada. We haven't seen anything like this. So we went and did the tour. And at the end of the tour, they said because we came from so far, they wanted to give us something special. So they gave us these passes that get you to the front of the line for every line in Universal Studios. And I was just addicted to the Jurassic Park ride. It's not the Jurassic Park ride anymore, as I understand it. It's Jurassic World. But I was addicted to that ride. I love Jurassic Park. I was so thrilled to see the Jurassic Park, like, doorway, the arch or whatever you call it, as you entered the ride, and the T-Rex that came down and going through the it was just so cool. I loved it. I loved the Jurassic Park ride. I rode that thing all day. How many times I must have ridden that thing? Maybe close to 10 times. Because I didn't really do anything else. I kind of regret it. I kind of wish I did other things. We did like the Star Tours and stuff, like went and traveled a lot. But I just wanted to do the Jurassic Park ride. My brother and my dad, they went and did Transformers. I stayed behind. I just stayed on Jurassic Park. I was just addicted to that ride. I loved it so much. Other than that's the most memorable one I have from Universal Studios. I'm sure there's other ones I did, but yeah. Enviro 2 says the sequels I want to see that never got made. Truman Show 2. I disagree with you there. I don't think they needed Truman Show 2. The Grinch 2. I don't know. The Mask 2. They kind of did it, and it was awful. But, like, a straight one with Jim Carrey. I get what you mean. Millions 2. American Psycho 2. They did an American Psycho 2. I mean, not with Christian Bale, but they did an American Psycho 2. And The Revenant 2. The Revenant 2. That's an interesting one. I don't know, man. I honestly, I don't know if I can agree with you on many of those. Maybe The Mask 2 would be kind of fun to see Jim Carrey pick back up again, but I don't know. The Mask kind of seems like something of its time in some ways. Enviro 2 says Jim Carrey should do sequels to all his beloved movies. Jim Carrey doesn't like to do sequels. I think Jim Carrey has only done, well, the Sonic movies are sequels. He did a sequel to Ace Ventura back in the 90s, and then he did Dumb and Dumber 2. I think those are his only sequels. I think he's more open to sequels nowadays, but there was a time where Jim Carrey was like adamant, no sequels for me. Talk to you with 331 says, yeah, this year so far has been lackluster. Completely agree. I've been very disappointed with this year so far. Toxic Game with 331 says, but people have been saying Abigail is great. I hope so, man. It looks like fun. I just want to go in there. I want to see this little zombie. I want to see this little vampire girl rip people to shreds. I'm so hyped. I'm so excited. Enviro 2 says there's 3 films in 2023. Deadpool 3, Red 1, and Joker 2. Is Red 1 based off a comic book? I know is that the Santa Claus movie coming out with Dwayne Johnson and Chris Evans? I didn't know if it was a comic book movie or not. Enviro 2 says, Civil War, what's that? I bet it won't be better than Captain America's Civil War. Yeah, Captain America's Civil War was much better. Yeah, no, Civil War, it's a new Alexander Garland movie. He kind of looks at America if it was in a Civil War today and how that would kind of look, and he envisions it. There's a line in the movie, because it's about these journalists who are traveling through America, and they take pictures of war and document it. And there's a line by Kirsten Dunst's character where she says to her young protege who wants to be a journalist, she says something along the lines of, we don't ask the questions, we just snap the images and then let the public ask those questions themselves. I kind of felt like that was the whole movie. I felt like Alex Garland was just showing us all these horrific, horrible acts of violence and torture of humans against humans, but there was no real context or subtext to them. It was just kind of interpret it your own way. How did the Civil War start? Interpret that your own way. And I don't know. I didn't think it was a bad movie, but I also wasn't like the biggest fan of it, unfortunately. Nathan Dread Movie says, hey Zach, what have you seen for the first time recently? I saw Legends of the Guardians, No One Will Save You. I really liked No One Will Save You. That's an underrated movie. Rock and Roller, Bullet Train, and The Truman Show. I watched Fallout Episode 1 for the first time. I've been reading, like I said before, I've been reading a lot of comics. I read this. I was like addicted to this one comic. It was called Spider-Man Life Story, where they take Spider-Man from the '60s all the way up until 2019, I think it is, and they age him with the decades. So like in the '60s, he's like dealing with the fact that the Vietnam War is going on and whether or not to join the Spider-Man, and then they move into like the '70s and they kind of tackle kind of like the Clone Saga. No, that was in the '90s. The Clone Saga stuff is more so in the '90s. But like in the '80s, they look at Kraven's Last Hunt in a new type of way, but they age. So he's like 40 by the time Kraven's Last Hunt comes around. It was a really, really cool comic, and all the way up until the end of his life. So that's something that's something new that I was reading. But yeah, as far as watching things that are new, Civil War, Fallout Episode 1, and I think that's it. I caught up on X-Men up until I watched Episode 4 and Episode 5. Episode 4 I thought was the weakest one, but Episode 5 I watched, and yeah, that's about it. That's about all that I can recall at the moment anyways. Toxic with 51 says, I might be still seeing Civil War. It's just this week was busy for me as well. Yeah, I get it, man. No one gets a busy week like me, man. I totally get it. Movie reviews with Ryan Lane says, the news about Deadpool feels like clickbait news. Is there going to be any substantial difference between Deadpool 3 and the third Deadpool movie? I mean, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in just a minute here. Enviro 2 says, I want to see the movie where Tom Cruise goes to space when he eventually makes it. Yeah, that is supposed to be coming. He's supposed to be making something in space. We'll see it. Eventually, maybe. I don't know. But anyway, guys, we are going to take a quick break as I smack the crap out of my microphone here. We're going to take a quick break with the comments and questions. Thank you, everyone who's joining. Thank you, everyone who's here for tonight's show. We are going to get into topic number 1. And topic number 1 is going to be this, guys. All right. So on the channel, infamously or notoriously, whatever you want to call it, I have not been the biggest fan of the Sonic the Hedgehog movies. I like the first one with James Marsden. I like the first one. The second one didn't really do it for me. I know it introduced a lot more of Sonic lore that people were very, very excited to see. I'm not a Sonic guy, so it just kind of all flew over my head, and I felt like the movie just went more kiddie than the first one did. And the first one was already like kids and family. I just felt the first one aimed even younger. There just wasn't really anything for me there, for me, as a general audience member. So when news is coming out about Sonic 3, which I know many people are stoked about, many people are very excited about Sonic 3. It comes out at the end of the year. Some people even have it very high on their most anticipated of the year list for this year. It's not even close to touching my list. So with all that in mind, Sonic 3 is of course introducing, or at least bringing to the big screen for the first time, Shadow, one of the basically an anti-Sonic from what I understand. Many fans very excited to see Shadow, but the question has been, who is voicing Shadow? Who is Shadow going to be played by? Now, there was heavy rumors that it was Hayden Christensen, which honestly, backtracking a little bit to Hayden Christensen, I kind of liked it. I kind of liked that choice, not only because I'm a Hayden Christensen fan and I want to see Hayden Christensen get more work, get more opportunities. I mean, I love that they brought him back into the Star Wars world as Anakin and Darth Vader and kind of gave him that redemption that he needed from the prequels and in the fandom's eyes. I love seeing Hayden Christensen whenever Hayden Christensen pops up. And because he had that dark side from Anakin and from playing in Star Wars, I was kind of interested in seeing him bring that vocally to the character of Shadow. I was looking forward to that. But anyways, that didn't end up happening because the person who's voicing Shadow is Keanu Reeves. This comes to us. Where am I? Here we go. This comes to us from The Hollywood Reporter. It says Keanu Reeves is speeding along to another franchise with the John Wick star heading to Sonic the Hedgehog 3. He'll be voicing the popular character named Shadow, multiple sources tell The Hollywood Reporter. The news comes on the heels of a jam-packed CinemaCon presentation from Paramount last week when the studio debuted the first footage for Sonic 3. This included the revelation that Dr. Robotnik, played by Jim Carrey, was depressed and out of shape after the events of Sonic 2, but gets his groove back thanks to creating Shadow the Hedgehog, a character first introduced in the video games in 2001's Sonic Adventure 2. The character is in many ways the anti-Sonic, dark and edgy while mirroring the hero's powers. And that comes to us, of course, as mentioned, from The Hollywood Reporter. Alright, so Keanu Reeves is coming in here as Shadow. He's joining Sonic 3. Now look, Sonic 3, as much as I'm talking about how I'm not a big fan of the second one, I kind of like the first one well enough. I thought it was cute. I'm not really anticipating Sonic 3. Sonic 3 is really starting to stack up its cast into something that I'm actually pretty excited to see. I mean, the rumor was that Jim Carrey wasn't going to be back. I mean, it looked like he died. You could argue that he probably was dead at the end of Sonic 2, and now they've just found a reason to bring him back. That would be my argument. But I was not really looking forward to... You know what's funny? I didn't change the title on the topics. I just realized that. The Monsterverse appears to be sticking around as still the title. That is hilarious to me. I'm not going to have any of these titles changed for any of these topics because I forgot to do it. Whoopsie. Anyways, going back to talk about Keanu Reeves and Shadow. This is great. This is a great casting. Not only because I love Keanu Reeves, not only because Keanu Reeves has done great voice acting in the past, but I love Jim Carrey. Seeing him come back into Sonic 3, and it sounds like they're going to give him the actual Robotnik what am I looking for? Physique? Is that the word I'm looking for? I think it is. They're going to give him physically the physique of what Dr. Robotnik is supposed to look like. That, I think, is going to be a lot of fun to see and for Jim Carrey to play with. And to see Keanu Reeves give a little bit more of a darker performance. I mean, assumedly, with how Shadow seems to be portrayed, to go a little bit darker, to be a little bit more edgy with his I think his voice lends to that perfectly. He's got like a deep kind of gravelly voice, and I think it's going to work really well for Sonic. And then you got him up, you're going to be having his voice paired up with Idris Elba, and you're going to have him paired up with Jim Carrey. Like, there's some stuff in here that honestly gets me excited. And before they announced this casting, I honestly wasn't caring that much about Sonic 3, so it's really funny how one single voice could change my mind this much. But yeah, I'll probably be there for Sonic 3 on a much earlier day when it comes out than I was first anticipating to be there. Anyway, guys, that's all my thoughts and opinions on this. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of Keanu Reeves coming in here as a Shadow for Sonic 3? Are you excited? Did you want to see Hayden Christensen kind of like I wanted to see Hayden Christensen come into this role? Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about this. Did you have someone else in mind for Shadow for Sonic 3? I'd love to hear all your thoughts. Comment down below. All right, guys, with that out of the way, let's move on to this. Of course, one of, if not the most anticipated film coming out in the next couple of months is Deadpool and Wolverine. I mean, you've got Hugh Jackman coming back as Wolverine. You've got Ryan Reynolds in here as Deadpool. They are entering the MCU. And for a very long time, this was only titled to us as Deadpool 3. Before we got the title of Deadpool and Wolverine at the end of that first epic teaser, really looking forward to seeing what the next teaser or the next full trailer is going to bring us from this movie. We only had Deadpool 3 before we had Deadpool and Wolverine. And now that we have Deadpool and Wolverine, it looks like we can officially completely retire ever calling this Deadpool 3, because according to Shawn Levy, that would be incorrect. This is not Deadpool 3. Here's what he had to say. This comes to us from Deadline. Says, the filmmaker explained in a recent interview why the movie, which also stars Hugh Jackman reprising his role as Wolverine, is not Deadpool 3, despite being the third Deadpool movie. As far as crafting the Deadpool and Wolverine story, I just felt privileged every day because you're talking about two massive movie stars in their most iconic roles, Levy told Screen Rant during CinemaCon. It also gave me an opportunity. It's the third Deadpool movie, but it's not Deadpool 3. It's a different thing that's very much Deadpool and Wolverine, and it's not trying to copycat anything from the first two movies. They were awesome, but this is a two-hander character adventure. And that comes to us from Deadline. All right, so what is Shawn Levy saying here? I think there's two ways to look at what Shawn Levy is saying here. Let's look at the first one. This is an entirely new Deadpool. Maybe not entirely new, but this Deadpool is not going to be attached to the first two movies. Much like how they were going to do Daredevil, where it was still Charlie Cox, it was still Vincent D'Onofrio in the MCU, but it wasn't connected and it wasn't the characters from the Netflix show. Is that what's happening here with Deadpool 3? I mean, as we know, he's not going to be a Fox character anymore. By the way, once again, didn't change the title on the topic. That's going to happen throughout the entire thing. Just want to let you know. Yeah, but we saw that happen with Daredevil. Are we going to see this happen with Deadpool as well, where it's still Ryan Reynolds, it's still Hugh Jackman, it's still the ensemble cast of Deadpool that we saw in the past, but they're just not going to acknowledge anything from the first two films. They're fresh in the MCU, no connections whatsoever. I don't think that's the case. I saw a couple people online kind of speculating and theorizing that might be the case. I don't think that's the case. I don't think that this is that drastic of a story, really, because we already saw in the first teaser, Vanessa's there, Wade and her are broken up. Now, is that going to ignore Deadpool 2? I mean, in Deadpool 2, in the in the beginning of the movie, Vanessa dies. In the post-credit scenes, Deadpool takes that time machine clock thing from Cable, takes that device from Cable, goes through the multiverse, saves Vanessa. I always thought that would be how they were going to bring Deadpool into the MCU, how the TVA was going to come and find Deadpool is because he messed with time that way. Maybe they're not doing that. Maybe they're just going to say, you know what, this is just a different Deadpool that acts the exact same as the old Deadpool, but no connection to the old Deadpool. Personally, I don't think they're going to go that route. I do think that this will still feel connected to Deadpool 1 and 2. I feel like this will still feel like the same characters. I'm sure there'll be references or something that will allude to the past films. But what I do think this is saying is it's kind of similar to looking at an Avengers movie as like Captain America 3 or like Iron Man 2. Like, yes, those characters are in it, but they're not really in their franchise film anymore. They're still in the universe, but they're not. It's not their solo movies, so it doesn't count as a sequel to those movies, even though you might allude back to some things that happened in their movies with those movies. I feel like that's kind of what they're saying with Deadpool I almost called it Deadpool 3. Deadpool and Wolverine here. I think that they're saying that this is a Deadpool and Wolverine movie. This is an ensemble movie. This is basically like a little team-up adventure movie. This is not a solo Deadpool movie. This is not going to be fully his story. This is going to be a buddy story with him and Wolverine. And in that sense, also the fact that it's not a Fox movie technically. This is now in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is a Marvel movie. It's different from where it was in the past. And I feel like that's kind of what Shawn Levy is trying to say here is it's not going to feel like the conclusion to a trilogy. It's not going to feel like it wraps up all these storylines in the ways that you feel like 1 and 2 might have been setting it up to wrap up in that way. It's going to be its own story. It's going to be its own thing that is not going to be dependent on Deadpool 1 and 2. And honestly, I'm cool with that. I'm totally excited for this movie regardless. I'm so excited to see Deadpool and Wolverine come into the MCU. I'm so excited to see what they've cooked up with this thing. I mean, at CinemaCon, they said they could only show 9 minutes of footage that weren't spoiler heavy. So whether or not that was just some big talk and this movie has very little spoilers in it, maybe it's a complete bore, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But as far as this news goes, Deadpool and Wolverine not being Deadpool 3, I don't think it's a big deal. I don't even think it's something to pay attention to. It's going to be an awesome movie. Either way, I believe in it. Anyway, guys, what do you think of this? What do you guys think of Shawn Levy saying, hey, you know what, Deadpool and Wolverine, stop calling it Deadpool 3. That's not what it is. It's not true. Comment down below. Let me know all your thoughts and opinions about what you think about that, guys. Are you excited for Deadpool and Wolverine, regardless of what the title officially is? Just like I am, let me know. And with that said, guys, let's jump back into your comments and questions and see what you guys are saying about this. So we got the... I can't believe I honestly cannot believe I forgot to do that. I forgot to change all of those titles. I thought I had everything under control. I thought I was doing great, and nope, I completely forgot to change all of those titles. I would change them now, but that would take too much time. So I was tempted to do it now, but I'm not going to do it now. The View with Drew, what's going on, Drew? Thanks for joining us, my friend. He says, hey, everyone, what's up? What's going on with you, Drew? Hope you're doing well. Nathan Trying to Movies, thank you once again for being here, Nathan, says, which one will you see first? Abigail, the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare. I'm probably seeing Ministry first, then Abigail. Also, will you watch Challengers? I don't know. I'm on the fence about Challengers. I've mentioned that a couple times. For Abigail, I'm definitely seeing that first because I plan to see that tomorrow. Excited. I'm hoping that it's this year's Renfield for me. I hope it's better than Renfield, but I loved Renfield, so I hope it's this year's Renfield for me. As far as the Ministry of Ungentlemanly Warfare, it's not playing in my theater. I actually looked, and apparently it comes out on Amazon Prime in the UK and Canada. So I'm in Canada, so I'm just going to watch it on Amazon Prime probably. My wife is leaving on Sunday afternoon, so I'll probably catch it Sunday, maybe Saturday if I have time. But I think my wife and I have plans before she goes for the week. Toxicator331 says, what would you say is your top 5 of the year so far besides Doom Part 2? It's very weak. It's a very weak top 5. Let me see here. Let me see if I can get in my letterbox pretty quickly. Okay, I did. Okay. Let me see what I've seen here. Let me give you a top 5. Top 5. Besides Dune, I can't have Dune Part 2 in there. Okay. So excluding Dune Part 2, which is totally number 1. I'm going to go Damsel is up there. I'm going to go that I'll probably put Godzilla X Kong in there, honestly. It was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. As for Argyle, kind of weakly put in there. Probably The Beekeeper is weakly put in there as well. And probably Roadhouse. I had a fun time with Roadhouse. For those asking, probably coming in like 6th place would be like Monkey Man. But yeah, that's it. Enviro2 says, your wife won't allow you to watch sexual movies. No, it's not that she doesn't allow. I choose not to. I choose not to because of my faith, because I am a Christian, and I just don't want to, as much as I can, like, bring that into my marriage, bring that into my mind. Like as a married Christian man, I don't need to be seeing that much sexual stuff, that much sexuality, like, especially when it's the focus of the movie. That's just me, though. That's just my opinion. That's my belief. That's the way that I approach it. I'm just I pick and choose what I watch based off that. And yeah, my wife and I, we talk about it. We made the decision together. But I even had that when I was single. Like that was always kind of a thing for me. I'm not always the best at keeping it, but, you know. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane says, I'm seeing the Ministry of Ungentle Warfare movie this Saturday. Nice, dude. I'm looking forward to it. I really am. Collective Movie Man says, what did you think of the Joker trailer? I'm extremely excited for Joker 2. I have a trailer reaction. I have a individual video talking about it, and we talked about it on Members Talk Live on the last episode we just posted. So you can definitely find my thoughts on Joker 2. I loved it. I loved that trailer. Beautiful, completely stunning. It blew me away visually, and I'm so excited for the movie. Dakota Man Movies says, did you see that Disney Plus added X-Men 97 to their MCU Multiverse Saga timeline? I did not see that, but I don't doubt that they did that. I don't know how much that means, to be honest. I don't know if that really means, like, that the X-Men 97 show is going to affect the MCU or is even going to be acknowledged in the MCU. Or maybe by the end of this season, they all burst through a portal and we get the live action versions of them revealed, all the casting that they've had secreted for a couple years now. They'll all be put on screen, and we'll find out that X-Men 97 is in the MCU. I doubt it. I really do. But we'll see. We'll see what they do with it. As far as it being in a multiverse thing, that's just... I feel like Marvel is kind of using multiverse, and especially on the Disney Plus thing where it has like the multiverse saga, it's just their way to kind of get you to watch the older Marvel movies that honestly weren't that great. like putting the Tim Story Fantastic Four movies in there. Oh, it's a multiverse saga now, so now you've got to watch it for the Marvel Cinematic. No, you don't. No, you don't. I mean, maybe they pop up in Secret Wars or something. I don't know. But you don't need to watch those. Like the Ben Affleck Daredevil. Oh, it's now in the Marvel Multiverse Saga. No, it's just a separate movie from another studio. But you're using that because you know us nerds and geeks are like, oh, the multiverse and these movies are all connected now because the studio owned it at one point and now Disney has it and they want to somehow get us convinced that we have to include it in our MCU collections. That's what Sony's trying to do very desperately, is to try to get us to believe that the Venomverse is part of the MCU. But yeah, I don't know. I don't put too much weight in that, to be honest, but it's cool. It's fun. Tox Gamer 331 says, I still gotta watch X-Men 97. I highly recommend it. Definitely do. Tox Gamer 331 says, it's just I've been really busy. Yeah, I get it, man. Absolutely. I totally get it. I mean, look at me. I miss so many things because I'm busy or I'm claiming I'm busy, but I'm just choosing to do other things is probably the honest truth about it. Nathan John Movie says, also, I've been rewatching through the reboot Planet of the Apes trilogy, and I kind of realized I had forgotten how freaking awesome they all were. Holy crap, I love them more now. Yes, they are so good. They are so good. Each one of them, like, I feel like I don't want to say they get better and better and better because Dawn is my favorite, but War is so good, and Rise actually holds up with the trilogy incredibly well. I know people always give Matt Reeves the credit for those movies, but Rupert Wyatt, who directed Rise, he set it off beautifully. He gave it such a great foundation, and I love Rise. I love Rise of the Planet of the Apes. It's probably Dawn, Rise, and then War, now that I've watched them back again. Andrea Dolores, I'm sorry if I got your name wrong, but thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here. It says, cat nap. You had a cat nap? Is that what you're saying? I hope you had a good nap. Talk to you with you. One says, also, Zach, in WWE 2024 at the upcoming pay-per-view Anarchy in the Arena, you'll be main event with Guller and Zack Attack going against Spoiler Kings in an Anarchy in the Arena match where you brawl everyone in the arena. That is crazy. That sounds like a blast. Thank you so much for including us in that, man. That's awesome. Yeah, I want to kick all their butts. You know, those guys can help me do it, but I'm the king. I want to kick all their butts. Talks Game With says, a bit of a random question, but Zach, are you a cold weather person or a hot weather person? That's a good question. I kind of dislike both. I mean, hot weather is just irritating and annoying, and I sweat, and it's I don't like hot weather. I don't do well. The cold weather, though, I also don't like very much. I feel like I enjoy warming up from cold weather in the house than I enjoy trying to get cool in the hot weather in the house. So I'm going to go with cold weather, but not by much. I don't really like either. Collector Movie Man says, I watched a lot of really good last week. I watched a lot of really good stuff last weekend, and today I started with Civil War on Friday, and then I watched Unstoppable with Denzel Washington, Out of Time with Denzel. That was last Friday. Nice, dude. That sounds awesome. I haven't seen those two movies, but that sounds awesome. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane says, based off Kevin Feige's comments, I'm interested in what the Deadpool 3 popcorn bucket will look like. Yeah, he joked about how some studios make their popcorn buckets inappropriate by an accident, but us with Deadpool, he's making it inappropriate on purpose. I don't know. I feel like it's all going to be hyped up, and it's probably not even going to be that bad of a popcorn bucket design. We'll have to wait and see. By the way, Michael Entity, once again, thank you so much for that $2, man. That's so nice of you. Talks to you with you. One says, I think Idris Elba would be a great James Bond. I think so too. I just wonder if he's too old. Like, no offense to Idris Elba, but I mean, you want Bond to be around for like 15 years or so? I don't know if Idris Elba is the guy you get. Talk to you with you. One says, there was actually pretty great buzz for Transformers 1 for the people who saw it really early. I don't doubt that. I've heard the exact same thing. A lot of people were very excited with what they saw at CinemaCon. I don't know, Transformers animated. You gotta win me over with that one. It's kind of how I feel with Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Like, people will deny it, but when Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was coming out in 2018, no one was paying attention to it. I mean, that's an exaggeration. Like, of course people were paying attention to it. A bunch of people were paying attention to it. But Miles Morales was not mainstream. I didn't know who Miles Morales was. Peter Parker was Spider-Man. That's all I knew. I didn't know who Miles Morales was. And then I heard they killed off Peter Parker to make Miles Morales Spider-Man. And I didn't know what to expect from a movie, and it was animated. And I thought, it's animated. Who cares? I only went to see it really because there was nothing else I was doing, and I wanted to take my brother to see it. I was like, it's Spider-Man, so maybe it'll be entertaining. We'll just go check it out. And then it was awesome. And then it was a really good movie. But where was I going with that? Yeah, but to bring it back to Transformers 1, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, and I love Spider-Man. I'm a big Spider-Man guy. That had to win me over when I saw it in theaters, and that's kind of how I feel with Transformers 1. It's like, you gotta win me over. I'm not that amped about it. The live-action movies have not been good enough for me to get amped about an animated one. But we'll see. I know the Transformers have a long history, so I'm sure it'll be great. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane says, I think the ship has sailed for Elba as Bond has sailed. At 51, he would break the record for oldest Bond debut. Roger Moore was 45 when he made his debut, and he looked old by the time his run ended, my friend. Roger Moore, he aged throughout his run as Bond, and you could see it. I agree with you there, my friend. I completely agree. Talk to Gamer says, we did have fun at Universal. I'm glad to hear it, man. That's awesome. Dakota Man Movie says, which is better at their best? Which is better at their best, Pixar or MCU? Well, I mean, if you're going box office wise, there's no competition. The MCU is the best when they're at their best. That's a good comparison. I mean, you've got almost the same amount of Pixar movies as you do with MCU movies at their best. Oh man, that's tricky. I love the MCU. I adore the MCU. The MCU has really impacted and influenced my life. And I watch the MCU a lot more than I watch Pixar. But you can't deny the minds at Pixar. Do they have fumbles? Yes. The Good Dinosaur? kind of forgettable. Not a big fan of it. Cars 2, not a big fan of Cars 2. But other than those two that I've seen, because I haven't seen all the Pixar movies, but other than those two, they've got a pretty great track record when it comes to their movies. I mean, I love almost every Pixar movie I've seen. Do I love every Marvel movie I've ever seen? No. I love many of them, but I mean they've got some weak ones. I'm not a big fan of the Incredible Hulk, for example. Quantumania, I liked it, not great. Thor: Love and Thunder, I liked it quite a bit, but not great. But Pixar, man, it's hard to, besides The Good Dinosaur and besides Cars 2, it's hard to go through Pixar and think not great. Like Incredibles, great. Incredibles 2, I don't think it's great, but it's quite good. Toy Story, great. Toy Story 2, great. Toy Story 3, great. Toy Story 4, great. You got, Monsters Inc., great. Monsters University, that one's not so good. Finding Nemo, awesome. Finding Dory's okay. Coco, I love Coco. I gotta go Pixar. I gotta go Pixar with that. When I'm thinking about the quality, when I'm thinking about the creativity, and it's a totally different ballgame because live action and animation are totally different. I mean, with animation with Pixar, not that they don't have deadlines, but they have years to work on these things. And in animation, you have the ability to control everything. You can make it exactly perfectly right in animation. Like, you just have control over the entire world, over the environment, over the characters, over the movements, everything. Whereas with live action, sometimes you're dealing with the environment, sometimes you're dealing with just actors' performances or the chemistry on set, or maybe a shot didn't go the way you planned and now you're out of time to shoot it. You got to do reshoots and all that kind of stuff. I feel like live action and animation are hard to compare to each other, but at the end of the day, when we're talking about the product, I do think Pixar. I do think I got to go Pixar, and I love the MCU. Love it, but yeah. Movie reviews with Ryan Lane saying it. Pixar, hands down. So there you go. Toxic51 says, do you think there's any other good to great shark movies besides the first Jaws? No. Just straight out no. Not that I've seen. Okay, that's not true. I will give The Shallows. I think that's a completely underrated movie. The Shallows was great. I mean, it's Blake Lively. She's stuck on a rock, and there's a shark circling the rock, and she can't get off. That's it. The third act's a little bit out there, but that was great. I really liked The Shallows. So I won't say it's nearly as good as Jaws, but when you ask me what I think of when I think the good to great shark movies, that one comes to mind. But then you got like 40 Meters Down and stuff like that. It's like, although I haven't seen everything. I haven't seen all the shark movies, so maybe there is. I mean, I hear what is it called? Open Water or whatever it's called. I hear that's a really intense one. I've never watched it though. Collector Movie Man says, and then Saturday I watched The Omen. On Saturday the original, and then Omen 2, and then Saturday night, and I watched The Last Testament of Christ, directed by Martin Scorsese. Is that the one that has Willem Dafoe as Jesus? That's awesome. Grant Guy, what's going on, Grant Guy? Thanks for joining us, my friend. He says, I do love Jaws, but Jurassic Park always took the cake for my favorite classic thriller. Nice, man. That's a good one. I mean, you can't go wrong with Jurassic Park. If I had to choose Jaws or Jurassic Park, I mean, they're both in my top 5 of all time. My top 5 movies of all time are Empire, in no particular order: Back to the Future, Empire Strikes Back, Jaws, Jurassic Park, and Psycho. Those are my 5 favorite of all time. So Jaws and Jurassic Park are both in there. If I had to pick my favorite, that is tricky. I think I watch Jaws more. I honestly think I watch Jaws more. I think I connect with the characters a bit more in Jaws. But man, that T-Rex scene when she breaks out of the pen in Jurassic Park and goes after the kids in the car, and you got the lawyer getting eaten off the toilet at the end. That is like probably my favorite movie sequence of all time. Is that T-Rex breakout scene? I adore everything about that scene. The way it's shot, directed, edited, the CGI mixed with the animatronics is just perfection. Even today, it's hard to tell the difference sometimes. But even with all that said, I feel like I'd have to choose Jaws. I just have to go with my gut. Brandon C says, Deep Blue Sea for the sheer entertainment value. Well, thank you for joining us, Brandon C. Thanks for being here, my friend. And yeah, fair enough. Enviro 2 says Megan Fox versus Margot Robbie. As an actress, Margot Robbie, hands down. Toxic Gamer 331 says, did you ever see the movie Fall from 2022 where two girls got stuck on the tallest pylon tower in the world? Nope, it was on my radar for a little bit, but then it just kind of went away, and I just kind of missed it. Wow, you guys are killing. Oh, we got some super chats in here. I don't know why the super chats aren't coming through. I thought I set that up. I'm gonna have to try and look at that over the weekend because the super chats are supposed to come up here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry the super chats are not coming up here. But we got the 8th Avenue sending in $2. Dude, thank you so much, your beloved channel member and supporter. Thank you. And congratulations, man. 1,000 subscribers. You did it. You're nowhere but up, man. Nowhere but up. Congratulations. You say, what's up, Zach? My guy, hope you're doing well. I'm doing well, man. I hope you're doing well yourself, Ace. Thank you so much. We also had another one. We had Grant Guy in here saying, dude, Fallout is so good. You got to watch it. Well, thank you so much for the $2 donation, Grant Guy. Very appreciated. That means so much. And yeah, I watched the first episode of Fallout. I have plans to continue. I do have plans to continue. I will continue to watch Fallout. The first episode had me intrigued enough that I will watch it. Enviro 2 says, if your wife is watching Blink once for Megan, twice for Mark. I'm only going by actress, okay? Actress-wise, Margot Robbie, hands down. I'm not going any further beyond that, man. I'm sorry, I'm not. Doxky331 says, what do you think about the rumors of Dave Patel being in the new Jurassic movie? Hey, you know what? After Monkey Man and what his performance in Monkey Man, I'm all for it. Do it. Bring it on. I think he'd be great. I'm very curious about this next Jurassic movie. I'm very curious about when they're gonna set it. The talent is getting stacked. You got Scarlett Johansson. You might have Dave Patel in there. You got Gareth Edwards behind the camera. I mean, it's looking to be it could be a very special movie. So I'm looking forward to it. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane says, what are your thoughts on Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis struggling to find a distributor while a Monopoly movie easily gets the green light? I think that speaks volumes to where we are in our movie landscape. Because I'm sure Francis Ford Coppola, I haven't looked into this at all, by the way, so I'm talking out of my butt, basically. I would imagine that Francis Ford Coppola wants this to go to theaters. I imagine a movie like this, I imagine he's getting a lot of talk about probably putting it on streaming, which I feel like he would not stand for. He would not do streaming. So that's really funny. That's actually really funny. Yeah, a Monopoly movie because it's recognizable IP that everyone knows, that easily gets a green light. But Francis Ford Coppola, who is arguably one of the best filmmakers of all time, can't get a movie made because of where we are in our movie landscape. That is really funny. That's really funny. Zach Attack Reviews, a beloved channel member and friend. What's going on, Zach? Thank you for joining us, dude. It says, Zach is live. Zach is live. I'm very live. I'm alive and I'm live. Collective Movie Man says, and then Sunday I watched Omen 3 with Sam Neill. Wow, you had like a full-on movie marathon, dude. That's awesome. Enviro2 says, name your top 5 movie trailer songs or soundtracks. Oh, man, dude, that's hard. I can't do that. I will say my favorite movie theme of all time is Jurassic Park. Like, I love it. I'm not gonna get demonetized, and I'm not gonna hurt your eardrums with my singing. But I love the Jurassic Park theme song. That's my favorite. Back to the Future's theme is up there too. Superman, the movie's theme is up there. I love the Sam Raimi Spider-Man theme from Spider-Man 2, the main openings of Spider-Man 2 specifically, as well as Spider-Man 1. I really like as well. Yeah, those are a couple. But yeah, as far as like trailer songs, I don't know. I think the use of Bohemian Rhapsody in Suicide Squad 2016 was brilliant. I really liked that trailer. And the way that the first Justice League trailer used the Come Together song, I thought was really good. Yeah, that's the only ones I can really think of off the top of my head. And funny enough, they're both DC. Zach Attack Review says, hey everyone in the chat. Well, hello to you too, Zach. Toxic Gamer says, I always like the video when I come in. Thank you so much, dude. I appreciate that. Toxic Gamer 31 says, speaking of Shrek at Universal, looks like they're building a new Shrek land. Ooh, that'd be fun. That'd be cool. I want to go back to Universal. It's changed a lot since I left. Yeah, because I used to like live there. No, since I visited it. So I'd love to go. That sounds awesome. Movie Reviews Family says, sounds like you got a pretty sweet experience at Universal Studios. Glad you had a fun time. Yeah, it was great. It was a really fun time. I loved it. Brandon C says, yeah, I love the Jurassic Park ride at Universal. Yeah, I mean, now it's Jurassic World, so I don't know what it is now. I don't know what it's like now, but when it was Jurassic Park, loved it. Loved it. Enviro2 says the Blue Beetle trailer song was awesome. I don't even remember it, to be honest with you. DJ's Family of Nerds, beloved channel member and friend. What's going on, DJ? Thank you for joining us. He says, we had a blast with the 20th anniversary of Shrek 2, my son's first movie, and he was amazed at the theater screen and also amazed at all the people and kept shouting hi to everyone before it started. That is so adorable, dude. I'm so glad you and your family had a fantastic time going to see that. And I remember I saw Shrek when I was 5 years old when it came out in 2004. I remember seeing that in theaters. And I remember specifically when Gingy has the big gingerbread man coming down the streets. I remember that was like slightly terrifying to me, but I loved the movie so much that I didn't let it get to me. And I remember being proud about that as a 5-year-old. But yeah, no, Shrek 2 is awesome. Shrek 2 is awesome. And I'm so glad that your boy got to experience it for the first time on the big screen, man. That's amazing. All right, guys, with that, we're just going to take another intermission, and we're going to pump out the last 2 topics. Then we're going to get right back into your live comments and questions. So, with that said, let's pump out these topics, shall we? Let's do this one. This was a bit shocking. One of, if not the best director working today, arguably the best director working today, depending on who you ask, Quentin Tarantino. I mean, Quentin Tarantino, he has been a legend. I mean, just put it plainly, he's been a legend in Hollywood. Quentin Tarantino, I mean, whether you're talking about Pulp Fiction, whether you're talking about Inglourious Basterds, whether you're talking about Kill Bill, whether you're talking about Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, this guy knows how to make a movie. Every time. Maybe Death Proof. Death Proof aside from Death Proof, Quentin Tarantino knows how to make a movie that pleases his audience. And it's been long rumored. Actually, it's not even rumored because Quentin Tarantino has said it himself. It has been long known for a while, that Quentin Tarantino has this rule of his. It's a weird rule for many directors and for fans of movies, but regardless, it's a rule that he has 10 movies and he's out. That's it. He's only going to do 10. In his entire career, he's only got 10. And he's already done 10, but he counts Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 as one movie. Why does he do that? I don't know. But regardless, in his mind, he's made 9. He is currently on his 10th movie. And he was getting ready. It was ramping up. He was going to be shooting his 10th movie, The Movie Critic. Well, that is not happening anymore. And as a matter of fact, Quentin Tarantino has scrapped his own movie. This comes to us, not Deadpool. This comes to us from Variety. And they said, Quentin Tarantino's movies are always full of surprises. And here is one about The Movie Critic that we did not expect. Deadline can reveal that Tarantino has dropped the film as his 10th and final project. He simply changed his mind. Deadpool has been told. Tarantino was going to have Brad Pitt as the principal star, which would have marked their 3rd teaming after Inglourious Basterds and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. There were rumors that many from the cast of his past films might take part, and Sony was preparing to make the film after doing such a superb job on the last one. This is the biggest surprise to Tarantino fans since years back when Deadline revealed he had shelved The Hateful Eight after he gave a small group of actors his script and one of them shared it with their rep. Soon it had been copied with the rough drafts being shared all over town and online. Tarantino felt betrayed, but he eventually returned to the project after staging a reading for charity and drawing raves for it. As for The Movie Critic, originally planned to be his 10th and final film, Tarantino has simply had a change of heart, and Deadpool hears that And Deadline hears that he will not be moving forward with the project. Sources close to the director said he changed his mind and is going back to the drawing board to figure out what the final movie will be. All right, and that comes to us from where Deadline. And I, once again, did not change the title at the bottom of topic 3, so do not get confused by that. It's happened all night. All right, guys. So, Quentin Tarantino, he had a movie. He had a movie ready to go. Now he's not doing it. This is odd, to say the least. I would say that I would say this is odd for any other director, but Quentin Tarantino, this makes sense to me as a Quentin Tarantino, because when you look at Quentin Tarantino as a director, he is so meticulous. He is so down to details. He is a perfectionist, for lack of better words. Quentin Tarantino is probably one of the biggest perfectionists in Hollywood. So if something is not up to his standard, he's just not going to put it out for the sake of putting it out or thinking, this is good enough. It needs to be great. That's how you get Django Unchained. That's how you get, all these other great Quentin Tarantino works, Reservoir Dogs and all this stuff, is he puts the time into them to make them great. He doesn't have, I almost said something. He doesn't do half of his job. He does a full job with his work. So to hear that he's not satisfied with the movie critic to the point that he just decided, you know what, this isn't it, and because I feel that this isn't it, I'm not even going to do it. It's ballsy, it's bold, but it's Quentin Tarantino all over it. And honestly, I'm thrilled. I'm thrilled to hear this, because if Quentin Tarantino is in fact going to stick to 10 movies, no more, no less, I want the final one to be great. The last thing I want for Quentin Tarantino, and as a fan of Quentin Tarantino, is for him to put out a movie, call it his final one. This is the last Quentin Tarantino movie that you will ever see with your eyeballs in your lifetime. I'm done after this one. And have it be lackluster, or have it just be okay, or have it be at the bottom of the totem pole of his movies. Now, it's a lot to ask from the guy. Absolutely, it's a lot to ask from the guy. But I want this to be my number one Quentin Tarantino movie. And I know that's unfair. I know it's unfair to say. I know that sets expectations high. Regardless, I want this to be number one. If this is going to be his final one, if this is his 10th one and final one, I want it to be number one in my ranking of Quentin Tarantino movies. So, the fact that he's now completely canceled the movie and he's going back to the drawing board and trying to come up with a brand new idea, which means we won't get another Quentin Tarantino movie for another couple years now, that part kind of bums me out. But I love seeing an artist really take their work this seriously. Now, to put on my little tinfoil hat a little bit as to why Quentin Tarantino had a change of heart. Well, going further into this article, they talk about how sources, apparently close to Quentin Tarantino, have said that this movie was going to have Brad Pitt in it, but he was going to be the character from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And in fact, this movie was supposed to be set in the world of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, and that he was going to have other characters from his past movies show up in this movie. Now, whether or not those are true, those are all rumors. If that was what Quentin Tarantino was doing, knowing how Quentin Tarantino is so old school with filmmaking and how much he loves the classics and the classic of film, I feel like if he was crafting a story that was starting to mold into like a Quentin Tarantino cinematic universe, or like a combination of all his work was going to come out just like kind of everything else that we're getting nowadays, because there's no shortage of cinematic universes out there, I could see that being the reason why Quentin Tarantino looked at his project and was like, I'm just making something that's going to feel very generic to me. This doesn't feel unique in the world of movies right now. Maybe that's why he scrapped it. I don't know. That's just me looking into it. All I know is that it's very rare that you hear of a director who wrote a movie, was getting ready to shoot the movie, and before filming begins, he just scraps it. But I respect Quentin Tarantino as a director. I respect him as an artist. And a story like this, as a fan of Quentin Tarantino, just reminds me why I respect the guy so much. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think of this? Quentin Tarantino, he has scrapped his movie. He's not doing the movie critic. Were you guys looking forward to the movie critic? Does this bum you out that you're not going to get to see this? I'll be honest, I'm a little bummed. I was curious about the movie critic. I was kind of speculating with some friends here and there. So it's a little bit of a bummer to know that we'll never ever see this movie now. But what do you guys think? Do you think that this was the right choice for Quentin Tarantino, or do you think he's never going to come up with the 10th movie because it's never just going to be good enough for him? Comment down below, let me know. I'd love to hear all your thoughts and opinions. And with all that, let's go on to our final topic of the night. And the final topic of the night is going to be this, guys. All right. So, Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumanium didn't exactly work as well with the fans as Marvel was hoping, especially with it launching Phase 5, launching what was going to be their new bad with Kang for the rest of the universe. Fans weren't exactly thrilled with Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and apparently not just fans. Michael Douglas, our Hank Pym in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, has recently been on The View, and he talked about his experience a little bit on Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and how in the future he may not be showing up for some other ones, for Ant-Man and the Wasp 4 or for the MCU in general. So this comes to us from Fandom Wire, and it says, the Basic Instinct actor appeared on The View to promote the Apple TV Plus series Franklin. Host Alyssa Griffin asked him about his wish to die in the latest Ant-Man film. Douglas revealed that he had requested to the filmmakers to grant him that wish. He wanted a serious death scene with great special effects. Instead, he got to lead an army of ants. Gigantic ants. Potato. Anyways, it goes on to say, his suggestion was to shrink his character to an ant size and explode him. However, the film had other plans for Douglas, and he survived the narrative of the film. Douglas shared that he was not going to show up for the next film, probably due to this reason. It's unclear whether Douglas was serious about his comments or not. He shared with The View, and this is Michael Douglas talking here now. This actually was my request for the third one. I said I'd like to have a serious death. With all these great special effects, there's got to be some fantastic way where I can shrink to an ant size and explode, whatever it is. I want to use all those effects. But that was on the last one. Now, I don't think I'm going to show up. And that comes to us from Fandom Wire. Okay, so, once again, this is not Joker for Leah Do. We're talking about Michael Douglas quitting Ant-Man. I didn't change the title. Anyways, yes, Michael Douglas talking about, I don't think I'm going to show up. So I watched the clip, and what they say in the article is true. Yeah, it's kind of hard to tell if he's joking, if he's being serious. I think there's two ways to kind of look at this, because when you watch Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, and this is coming from someone, mind you, who likes Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. I just want to remind people of that, because sometimes I feel like people forget that. I like Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. But even with my liking of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, I get all the flaws. I get why people were upset with the movie. And Michael Douglas in Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania doesn't really have anything to do. I mean, you can argue that after the first Ant-Man movie, Michael Douglas has been pretty wasted in the MCU. They haven't really given Hank Pym that much validation for being here when he's shown up. I mean, in Ant-Man and the Wasp, he got to drive the van, so good for him. He got to drive them around. In Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, Michael Douglas did not even look like he wanted to be there. Like, I remember one of the big things about that movie that stuck out to me was Michael Douglas looked confused because he was probably just surrounded by blue screen and the volume the whole time. He didn't know what the heck he was looking at, and he didn't look like he wanted to be there at all. So you could look at his comment, I'm not going to show up, is him throwing in the towel. You know, I'm done. I wanted to die. You didn't kill me. Well, I'm not coming back. Because maybe he didn't renew his contract. Maybe he's not signed up to appear in Avengers Secret Wars. Maybe Marvel doesn't have any plans for him moving forward, and they don't even want him back to begin with. So one way to look at that is him saying, you know, I didn't have a good time on Quantumania. They didn't do what I wanted them to do. I wanted to die. I didn't die. So now I'm just not going to show up for them anymore because they didn't do my idea, or I just didn't like being in the movie. That is one way to look at it. The other way to look at these comments, and the way that you can kind of read into what he's saying, is what a lot of Marvel actors say, whereas they don't know if they're going to be back. Marvel hasn't told them. Marvel hasn't spoken to them. Michael Douglas, he doesn't know what the plans are for Secret Wars. He doesn't know what the plans are for Ant-Man 4. I mean, there's rumors that Ant-Man 4, along with Captain Marvel 2, along with Captain Marvel 3, along with Eternals 2, are all canceled. I mean, there's rumors that Marvel and Bob Iger, they don't even want to do those franchises anymore because of how poorly their predecessors have performed. So whether or not Michael Douglas is saying, I'm not going to show up because I just don't want to do these movies anymore, which I could see being true because in Quantumania, he looked like he wanted to be anywhere else but that movie. Or maybe he's just simply saying, you know, I don't know if I'm going to show up because we did Ant-Man 3. It was shot. I wanted to die. They didn't kill me, but they also haven't told me if I'm coming back. So if you're asking me which one do I think it is, Honestly, I think it is the second. I think he just doesn't know if he's going to be back or not. Do I think he wants to necessarily come back? Not really. I don't think it's a desire of his to come back. I don't think he would love to come back. But I'm sure if Marvel had an idea for his character, like, hey, we're going to bring you into Secret Wars, you're going to be a variant of Hank Pym, and you're actually going to be the Ant-Man, or you're going to be Giant Man, or maybe you're Goliath. I don't know who you are. You're somebody, and it's Secret Wars, and it's multiverse, and you're a different character than who you are, and we're bringing you back. Maybe he'd sign up. Maybe he would be like, all right, cool, it's a paycheck, it's a big movie, yeah, I'll do it for the money. But do I think that he necessarily has a passion to come back? No. But I also don't necessarily think he's throwing in the towel. I just think, I just think he's unsure, like a lot of Marvel actors are, and probably like a lot of Marvel executives are too. Anyway, guys, those are all my thoughts and opinions on this story of Michael Douglas saying that he is not going to show up for the next Ant-Man or the Ant-Man 4. What do you guys think? What do you guys think of Michael Douglas' comments? Do you think that he's throwing in the towel? He's saying, I'm done, I'm not going to do it? Or do you simply think like me? He's like, you know what? Marvel's pretty secretive. They don't really let us know if we'll be back or not. So, yeah. I don't know. Comment down below. Let me know, guys. We'll figure it out together. Like family, like family. Like family. Like friends and family. Anyways, as I dribble all over myself live on camera. That's great. You know what? It's Jaws, so it's okay that this shirt gets wet. Should I just dump my water on this shirt? I don't know. That'd be funny. You can tell we're getting to the point of the show where I get a little delusional. Anyways, let's go back to your comments and questions. In fact, we're just going to take your live comments and questions for the rest of the show. We're done with the main topics. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. It could be further in the discussions of these topics, or it could just be anything else. What do you guys want to know what kind of restaurants I like? I don't know. Michael111591, what's going on, Michael? Thanks for joining us, dude. Always great to see you in here, my friend. He says, hey, Zach, what's up? We just finished with all the topics. We're having a great show, and we're having fun. So it's going pretty well. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I think for the Orlando Universal over here, we have the weaker Jurassic Park ride of the two, but it's still a great ride because of nostalgia, probably. I mean, nostalgia has a lot of things plays into a lot of things, but I'm sure it's a great ride. I mean, how could Jurassic Park not be fun, If I were 2, is Kristen Dunst still hot? Thumbs up or thumbs down? By Overthorian Alliance. Do you think YouTube is harder now with more people doing it, or at the beginning when YouTube first started? I mean, I think that there was definitely an advantage for the Chris Stuckmans and Jeremy Johns and Schmozno and Collider and all those people at the start, because the competition was fewer, but you still had to be good at it. You still have to be decent. So it's not like they just got a free ride because they started first. Like if they sucked, they wouldn't be where they are today. They still have to work hard and work at it. But yeah, YouTube now. I mean, the whole there's there's a movie review around every corner from someone. Dan down the street, he just did a movie review for Civil War, and it's on YouTube along with everyone else's. So yeah, it's all competition. It's tricky, but there's also so many people in the world and on YouTube in general that there's always a chance for your content to get noticed. I think I don't really think there's this thing of there's just too many people now. Everyone's just watching this one channel. I'm trying to do the same thing as that one channel, but everyone's watching that channel, so no one's going to watch my channel. No, I think there's a lot of crossover. I think there's a lot of sharing between audiences to the point that I think every channel can succeed, really, but the competition is definitely real, and it's definitely hard to be number one, especially when you got these guys that have done it for years. I mean, you look up a Civil War review, I guarantee you the first one you're going to see is Jeremy Johns. I guarantee you the second one you're going to see is Chris Stuckman. But you know what? People have done it. Sean Chandler, he shot up there. 3C Films, he shot up there. Cody Leach pops up quite a bit. Austin Burke on mine pops up quite a bit. And these are guys that started after the boom of movie reviews. So it can be done, but it's definitely challenging. Absolutely. Zack Attack Review says, love No One Will Save You. Yeah, man, I thought it was great. I thought it was very creative. A lot of people didn't like it, but I really did. Toxic Gamer 331 says, No One Will Save You was really good, but it had a weird ending, though. I mean, I can't argue with that. It did have a weird ending. Michael 101591 says, I saw 2002 Spider-Man in the theater on Monday in 35mm, and it felt like I was watching the film when it was released. Seeing Spider-Man 2 this Monday and Spider-Man 3 the following Monday, both 35mm. I'm so jealous, dude. I'm so jealous, but I'm so happy for you. I'm glad that you're having a great time with that. I'll just continue watching the Blu-ray. And maybe I'll get crazy and I'll throw in the VHS. You know, maybe I'll get nuts tonight. You know, Enviro Earth 2 says, which superhero are you most similar to? IQ, profession, and personality. Superhero I'm most similar to? The Blob. No, not the Blob. Not the Blob. The superhero I'm most similar to? No, none of them, really. I mean, I guess I've always related to Spider-Man because I'm terrible with women. Or, I mean, thankfully I don't have to be anymore because I've got a wife, so don't have to worry about that anymore. But that was a big struggle in my life, was couldn't talk to the girls, couldn't talk to the ladies, was not a ladies' man. So I related to Spider-Man the most, for sure. And to some extent, Barry Allen on the CW, The Flash, but other than that, you know, I'm not Iron Man. I'm not Captain America. I ain't Thor. Yep, I ain't Wolverine or anything like that. So I don't know. Enviro2 says, don't break the microphone. Your wife will be angry. Yeah, no, I'm not gonna break the microphone. I got backups. I got a backup for this. So if this does break, please don't break. But if this does break, we will be okay. We'll still be able to do the show. I got backups. Obio Thorian Alliance says, fair enough, Sonic isn't for everyone. How do you feel about the Borderlands movie coming out? I'm hoping it's a Dungeons & Dragons situation, because I didn't know anything about Dungeons & Dragons, but I went into that movie and it charmed me so much. Like, I didn't need to know about Dungeons & Dragons. It just worked for those who played the game and didn't play the game. And I'm hoping Borderlands is the same way. I'm hoping that it's got the charm, it's got the humor, and it's accessible and inviting to those who never even touched the game, because I've never played Borderlands in my life. Isn't Kevin Hart in that movie? That's going to be interesting. Enviro2 says, I enjoyed Sonic 1 in 2020, but turned off Sonic 2 after 10 minutes. Yeah, Sonic 1 I think is better than Sonic 2. Sonic 2 didn't really... I didn't hate it. Like, I watched it just fine, but I don't know. I actually don't really remember all my thoughts about it. Maybe you can go back and watch my review and get my full thoughts on it. But, yeah, it was fine. It was okay. I'm so happy so many people love it. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane says, Elon Roth feels like such an odd choice for the Borderlands movie. Hopefully it'll be James Gunn directs Guardians of the Galaxy odd and not M. Night Shyamalan directs Airbender odd. Well, we'll see. We'll see. It is an interesting choice, that's for sure. Enviro2 says, how did Dr. Robotnik even survive? Well, will they explain that? I doubt it. I mean, maybe they will. They kind of have to, because I'm pretty sure the plan was to kill Jim Carrey off. Because Jim Carrey said that he was done, he was retired, he didn't want to come back, and then I don't know what happened, but he came back. So I don't know. I don't know how he survived, and I don't know if they'll explain it, but I kind of hope they don't. I just want them to to let it slide. I think it'd be funny. Movie Reviews with Ryan Lane says, Keanu Reeves showed he could expertly handle dark and edgy material with the Cyberpunk game. Nice. Yeah, I never played it, but I heard good things about his performance in that. Michael 101591 says, looking forward to Sonic 3. I'm glad for you, man. I'm glad you are. The View with Drew says, question for everyone aside from Tony Stark in Avengers Endgame, what do you think is the saddest superhero movie death? I mean, Logan's is pretty sad with little what's her face? Weapon X? Is it Weapon X? Little Weapon X? Little Nas X. I know it's not Little Nas X. Little Weapon X is leaning over his body, holding his hand as he dies. Logan's is pretty emotional. Other than that, that's a good question. Yeah, Iron Man's definitely up there. Iron Man was the most effective. I can't think of another. You know what? Honestly, it could have been executed better. But Harry Osborn's death in Spider-Man 3, the idea of it and the way that it's shot and directed does pull on my emotional heartstrings a little bit. I wish the movie was better up until that point, and I wish that they had executed the whole Harry being Peter's best friend, falling from grace and becoming a Green Goblin, and then Peter's enemy, and then redeeming himself by saving Peter and dying. I wish that was all executed better, but it still works for me. I think Harry's death is pretty emotional. Enviro2 says, which cameos do you expect in Deadpool 3? Taylor Swift, Chris Evans, Human Torch, or Sabretooth? Not Taylor Swift. I don't expect Taylor Swift. I know a lot of people think Taylor Swift, and you know what? There's plenty of reasons. Maybe you do expect Taylor Swift because they are good friends with Shawn Levy and Ryan Reynolds and all those people. So maybe they pulled her into the movie. Maybe. I'm not expecting it. I honestly am expecting someone from Fantastic Four, whether it be the old Reed Richards, whether it be Jessica Alba. We know Elektra's coming in there. I don't expect Ben Affleck's Daredevil to be in there, though. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Storm. I wouldn't be surprised if we got Professor X again. I wouldn't be surprised if we got... I wouldn't be surprised if we got, like, James Marsden's Cyclops, maybe. I wouldn't be surprised at that at all. Yeah, those are a couple that I can think off the top of my head. Zach Goller says, I cannot... Oh, by the way, thank you for joining us, Zach. Thanks for being here, my friend. Says, I cannot freaking wait for Deadpool and Wolverine, one of my most anticipated releases for the rest of the year. You and me both, my friend. You and me both. I cannot wait. Cannot wait to see that. We're going to have to talk about that. We're going to have to do like a spoiler chat or something, my friend, about that one. I'm so pumped. Enviro Earth 2 says, leave Schreiber, Sabretooth. I guess Wolverine won't be attached to the other Wolverine movies either, though. I mean... I don't know how they're going to play that one because the continuity is so all over the place with all the Wolverine movies. So it could go either way, but maybe he shows up. I wouldn't be surprised if he did. Toxic Gamer 331 says, what are your top 5 favorite movie main themes of all time? Well, I kind of already talked about that a little bit, but like Jurassic Park is up there, Back to the Future is up there, Spider-Man's up there, Superman's up there. One more. What would one more be? Batman 1989 is pretty good. Batman 1989 is probably up there as well. Enviro 2, will Deadpool's wife return? She was hot in Gotham also. I believe she will because she's in the... Well, she's not his wife. I believe in the trailer they allude to her being with someone else. I think Deadpool and Vanessa broke up. So she's there, but I don't think she's there for long. Collector Movie Man said, I'm still calling it Deadpool 3. You know what? Stick to it, man. I'm still calling it HBO Max. They can't dictate what we say. They can't change our thoughts. I appreciate you, and I respect you. You keep calling it Deadpool 3. Toxic Gamer 331 says, what other movies are you also excited for this year? Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, for sure. Cannot wait to see Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Furiosa, I'm super excited for. What else is coming out? Joker 2, super excited for Joker 2. Beetlejuice. I'm actually really looking forward to Beetlejuice 2. That looks really good. Yeah, those are a couple for now. The Viewer Drew says, excellent news. My channel is now at 926 subscribers. Nice, dude. You're hitting that 1,000 pretty soon, dude. That's awesome. Enviro 2 says, has Will Smith been canceled? I don't think so. I don't think Will Smith has been canceled. I think he's been hurt. I think his career has been hurt, but I don't think he's been canceled. I think people still love Will Smith and will still show up for Will Smith. Movie Reviews Round Lane says, signing off now. I'm excited for the stream this Saturday. Me too, dude. Me too. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. Thank you so much for being here, Ryan. Thank you so much for being a channel member. And the show was made better because you were a part of it, my friend, and I appreciate you. You have a good night. Toxic Gamer 331, what are your top 5 favorite Will Smith movies? Oh, man. The ones I've seen? I'd probably put Men in Black up there. I'd probably put, oh, that's tricky. I do like I Am Legend. Excuse me. Sorry. I do like I Am Legend. I don't know if I'd say favorite, though. That's tricky. I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know why I'm blanking on that so hard. I'm sorry, man. I'm blanking on that. Zack Attack Reviews says, my top 5 without Doom Part 2 is Monkey Man, Origin, Hundreds of Beavers. Sometimes I think about dying and Love Lies Bleeding. I gotta see like all those movies. So, fair enough, dude. I'm glad you're having a good movie year. Zack Attack Reviews says, also, you don't have to over-explain yourself, Zach. It's okay if you just don't want to. If I don't want to, what? What was I over-explaining? I probably over-explained a lot of stuff, but what was I over-explaining? I don't know. I do talk a lot. I'm a big talker, especially when you get me comfortable and in a place where I feel like I can just let loose, which is arguably, that's not the right word, which is always, is what I meant to say, which is always when I'm on YouTube, when I'm live, and when I'm engaging in the chat. I can talk. In my personal life, pretty shy, pretty quiet, don't talk very much, but once you get me here, I can't stop. Dallas Game with 331 says, I got Predator on Blu-ray the other day, along with a bunch of other Blu-rays as well, which I have still not watched all the way through. Predator is great. Arnold Schwarzenegger, I'm assuming that's the one you got. Predator is great, and then follow it up with Prey. Ignore all the others. Just go straight to Prey. You'll have a great time. Talk to you with 51 says, also, have you seen World War Z with Brad Pitt? I have not, actually, which has been on my watch list for years, and I've just never put it on. Maybe one day I will. Enviro2 says, actors who disappeared: Will Smith, Ezra Miller, Johnny Depp, Kevin Spacey, Jack Nicholson, Jim Carrey. I don't think that's true. Will Smith is still around. He's got Bad Boys 4 coming out right now. Ezra Miller, I'll give you that one. Johnny Depp, yeah, I'll give you that one because he was canceled and he was blacklisted in Hollywood, and he hasn't really come back since the trial. Kevin Spacey for sure. Jack Nicholson, I don't know about that one, but Jim Carrey, I mean, he's going to be in Sonic 3, so I don't know if he really disappeared. Chillmonger, what's going on, Chill? Thanks for joining us, my friend. Says, hopefully not Jonathan Majors. Yeah, hopefully Jonathan Majors doesn't disappear. I mean, look, he went through his stuff. He got his sentencing. He had his day in court. I don't think what he did is justifiably cancel worthy. I think the verdict of what was it? It was like violence without intention of violence. Like he didn't mean to hurt somebody, but he just ended up hurting somebody. Basically, to me, you can bounce back from that. It might take a little bit longer because his career was just going up and up and up and up and up. Now it took a little plateau, but I think we'll be seeing Jonathan Majors again. I don't think we've seen the last of Jonathan Majors. Tosh Gamer 331 says, yeah, my sister's wedding is next month, so that's why it's so cuckoo. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. My family's going through it just happened, an engagement, but yeah, I relate. Collector Movie Man says, hey, Zach, I just wanted to ask you, do you have a Letterboxd account? Because if you do, I would like to add you. I do have a Letterboxd account. It's just Zach Milne Talks Movies. And I never really know how to pull it up, but I sometimes will post like reviews and stuff. Just look for this. Just look for that guy. Look for that guy. There you go. I sometimes post like reviews and stuff, but mostly I'll just like star and add to my list because Letterboxd is how I keep track of what I've watched this year. Basically, that's what I use it for. Enviro2 says Shia LaBeouf also disappeared as an abuse. Shia LaBeouf. What was the last thing I saw him in? Probably the Peanut Butter Falcon. He hasn't been around in a minute. That's true. Have you seen that with T? What's going on, T? Thank you for joining us, my friend. Thank you for being a channel member and for being here, man. He says, hey, Zach. Hey, T. Glad to see you in here, my friend. Talks Game with 331 says, speaking of Cuckoo, are you going to be seeing the movie called Cuckoo? It looks like it's similar to It Follows. I haven't even heard of it, so I have no idea. Zach Attack Reviews says, the disrespect for animation, Zach. Oh, yeah, well, it's all garbage. I mean, you doodled on a piece of paper and then you made it move. Whatever, dude. What a bunch of hacks. Have you seen that with T? Says, Transformers, the animated movie, till this day makes me cry with Optimus Prime died. I never got attached to that. So I can't relate to crying when he died. My brother did show me that movie, and I'm just not a Transformers guy, so it just didn't work for me. I'm just gonna backtrack real quick and say that was a joke. If you're gonna clip that out and send that around, I should probably have the evidence where I'm saying that was all a joke. Animation is great. It's great. I love it. Anyways, yeah, but that was a big one for a lot of people. Optimus Prime dying was a big one for a lot of people. Big emotional moment. My brother talks about how that was emotional for him. The viewer Drew says, tell me if you guys agree or disagree. Logan is the best comic book movie of the year 2017. What else came out? What were the comic book movies of 2017? You had Spider-Man Homecoming. You had, was Black Panther 2017 or was that 2018? What were the comic book movies? Big thumbs. 2017. You had, let's see here. You had Spider-Man Homecoming. You had Logan. You had Justice League. You had Wonder Woman. You had Atomic Blonde. Thor Ragnarok. You had The Death of Stalin. You had Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 was 2017? That doesn't seem right to me. My Friend Dahmer, I don't think that's a comic book movie. The Lego Batman movie, you had Valerian in the City of 1,000. No one saw that. You got Kingsman, Golden Circle, Captain Underpants. Come on. How are you leaving out Captain Underpants? Yep, I agree with you. Logan was the best one. Logan was the best comic book movie of 2017. I don't know if that's a hot take or anything. I think that's probably pretty universal. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say that. I'm sure some people have Wonder Woman up there. I'm sure some people have Lego Batman up there, but I'll agree with you, Logan. Have you seen it? With T says The Good Dinosaur was great. I'm glad you felt that way, dude. I don't hate it. Like, it was fine. It's just when I think Pixar, it felt. I mean, that's really disrespectful to say because DreamWorks is great, but it did feel more DreamWorks to me than Pixar to me, and I don't know why. I feel like that's a real slight against DreamWorks, which DreamWorks has done some great stuff. But yeah, The Good Dinosaur is just not what I expect from Pixar. Nathan Trying to Movie says, I watched half of Hereditary yesterday. I may finish it tonight. Is it good? It's freaking terrifying. Especially if you only watched half of it yesterday and you're going to finish it tonight. I think you're in the scariest part of the movie if you're going to finish it tonight. So if you want to get freaked out, yeah, finish it tonight. Enviro2 says, is there an actor or actress that you and your wife would agree to have... Okay. No, man. I'm not going there. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I got a tough... By the way, the answer is no. But the answer is no. I just want to point that out. That's why I'm not going... No. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I got a tough question, Zach. Who was better in the prime? DreamWorks or Pixar? In the prime. Well, let's talk about the prime, right? What's prime? For me, I would say DreamWorks' prime was probably Shrek to... But then they put up Puss in Boots, The Last Wish, and that was excellent. I'd probably say Pixar still, though. I mean, I loved Shrek. What else did they have? Did they have ants, or is that something else? I can't remember off the top of my head. But, like, when you're looking at Pixar in their prime, I'm thinking of Toy Story 2, Bugs Life, Incredibles, Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc. I don't think DreamWorks can compete with that. I think DreamWorks really only has Shrek that can really compete with that, and Shrek 2, because Shrek 2 is fantastic. But I'd have to look. Toxic Gamer 331 says, Good Dinosaur and Brave felt like they were made by the wrong animation studio. Was Brave also Pixar, or was Brave Pixar? I don't remember if Brave was Pixar or not. I wasn't huge on Brave. I liked it, but I wasn't huge on it. I don't even remember. Let's see here. Sully Stream says, I suddenly want a live stream where Zach just lists every MCU and Pixar movie he knows one by one. Maybe I'll give that to you one day, man. Maybe I'll put that out there. Zach names every Pixar and MCU movie he can off the top of his head. Thank you for joining us, Sully, by the way. Thanks for being here, my friend. It's great to see you in the chat as always, dude. Zach Attack saying, let's not ask sex questions. I mean, I appreciate that, man. If we could keep the sex questions to a minimum, or not at all, that would be good. I'm not necessarily offended by them, but I'm not going to answer them. So you're just wasting your time. Toxic 51 says, Turning Red I didn't like at all. I mean, didn't like at all. I wasn't a big fan of it. I wouldn't say I didn't like it at all, but I wouldn't watch it again, to be honest with you. Sully Streams is saying the Deep Blue Sea and the first Meg movie are good shark movies. I'm not with you on Meg necessarily, but I know you love that movie, man, and I'm glad you do. Toxic 331 says Cars 2 are actually put above that, which is saying a lot because Cars 2 is bad as well. I mean, yeah, Cars 2 is probably still the worst Pixar movie they've done. Enviro2 says, I can ask what I want unless it offends Zach. Yeah, I mean, I understand, man. I understand. It doesn't, like, necessarily offend me, but I'm not going to answer it, so I wouldn't even bother. Wow, we got a lot of questions. Holy moly. I'm going to start flying through these. So now I'm only going to start answering questions to about 5 to 10 minutes max. Okay, we're going to cut down a little bit now. Your question will get a maximum of 20 minutes, and that's I'll try to speed through these. Zach Attack Review says, what's your favorite one location movie like Phone Booth or Panic Room? Probably Buried with Ryan Reynolds. I love Buried with Ryan Reynolds, but Phone Booth is a good one too. I also love oh shoot, Why can't I remember? I don't have time to think of the name of it. I'm sorry, man. But yeah, I'll put Buried. I'll put Buried in there. That's a good one. Oh, the Rope. Alfred Hitchcock's Rope. I like Alfred Hitchcock's Rope. And you could argue Rear Window kind of counts as a one location as well. So I'll put Alfred Hitchcock's Rear Window in there as well. Nathan Van Movie says Pixar's only duds to me are Turning Red, Good Dinosaur, Cars 2, and Brave. The rest are good to me. Pixar is just great. I would pretty much agree with you there, actually. Yeah, Turning Red, Good Dinosaur, Cars 2, and Brave are kind of the only ones I don't really care that much for. Zach Attack Review says, what's your favorite DCU casting so far? They haven't casted too many people. Probably Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor is probably my favorite so far. Because I don't know David Cornsweet well enough to know if he's going to be a good Superman, or I imagine he will be. But I will go with Nicholas Hoult as Lex Luthor. Toxic Gamer says, I just realized a question above me. Or that's a weird one. Which one's above you? I'm sorry, I don't know which one's above you. Toxic Gamer 331 says, here's another random question as well, Zach. How did you and your wife meet? Oh, okay, yeah. Here we go. 30 minutes, guys, indulging in Zach's meet his wife story. No, basically just work. We worked. I worked at a thrift store. I was a supervisor. She got hired. I liked her, but I was her boss. Didn't know if she liked me. Waited until I knew for sure. And then we had like a Secret Santa thing going on at work, and she got one of my fellow supervisors. So she asked me to go shopping with her for the supervisor. And then I realized throughout the course that she probably did like me. And then I had the gumption, and we went out. And then we very shortly after, because COVID hit, we left that place and went and volunteered at a summer camp all summer, and that's kind of where we really got deep into our relationship. And then we came back and we got married, and that was from meeting to getting married was 10 months. Yeah, that's the abbreviated story of the whole thing. Have you seen it with T says, they ate me and effing shark ate me. Deep Blue Sea is a classic. I mean, yeah, a lot of people do love it. I will be honest, I've only seen bits and pieces. I've never sat down and watched the full thing. I gotta watch it. I really gotta watch it. I really do. Zack Attack Review says Fallout should have been weekly release. Over an hour episodes is hard binge. Yeah, I wish it was weekly, because then I wouldn't have the pressure to just like sit down and watch all of it. But binging can be fun, but yeah, that's a commitment. That's what, 8 hours, 9 hours? Yeah, that's a lot. Toxic Gamer 331 says, I feel as if Dave Patel and ScarJo could have good chemistry together in the new Jurassic movie. I mean, if they want to go that route, yeah, I guess they could. I could see that working. Enviro2 said, which movie would do better, Hitler biopic or Trump biopic? Oh my gosh. That is a question. Dude, I can't answer that. Probably Trump. I would imagine it's less horrific. Toxic Gamer 331 says, do you think in this new Jurassic franchise they should have some of the cast from the park movies and world movies? No. They did that. They brought the old cast back for the park or for the world movies. I don't think Chris Pratt and I don't think Bryce Dallas Howard were good enough characters to warrant being a surprise legacy sequel, cameo, or continuation. I think you said it really far into the Jurassic World era where the dinosaurs have been here for a while, and you tell a whole new story and you just distance yourself from Jurassic World as best you can. Zack Attack Review says, what's a franchise that should have just been one movie? I always go with it, Jaws. Jaws should have been one movie. Toxic 331 says, oh, I didn't realize I asked a question I asked before. Whoops. That's fine, dude. No worries. Toxic 331 says, what's the last time you cried watching a movie? I actually got teary-eyed at Dune Part 2, but that was because of how beautiful I thought the movie was. As far as, like, crying at an emotional scene, that's tricky. Nothing this year. I haven't cried at anything this year. I think the last time I cried was watching Past Lives. I think Past Lives was the last, because I watched that last year near the tail end of the year, and I think that was the last one that got me, was the final scene in Last Lives. Zack Attack Review says, I like a couple Transformers movies, so I can't agree. I mean, I like the first one. I like Bumblebee. Rise of the Beast was okay. I think Transformers, the Dark Side of the Moon is actually a lot of fun. I enjoy that one. Like, I've enjoyed Transformers. It's just not really like my franchise. So if you're going to do an animated movie that, like, I'm sure it's gonna be great. Like, I'm sure it's gonna be good. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I think the movie's gonna be trash or horrible. I'm just saying at this moment with how I am as a Transformers casual fan, I'm just not that excited for it. That's just all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. It's fine. Zach Attack Review says, what was the last movie you watched with low expectations that blew you away? That's a good one. I know there's an answer to this, and I don't know why I'm blanking on it so hard. Because I feel like I had very low expectations going into Godzilla -1, and I feel like that blew me away. Godzilla -1, because I wasn't a Godzilla guy. I didn't care about Godzilla. I never even seen a Godzilla movie really, besides the MonsterVerse movies. So I had I wouldn't say low expectations because it was getting rave reviews, but I didn't know if it was going to be like rave reviews for Godzilla fans or for the actual movie, and that completely blew me away. That's what comes to my memory anyways. Collective Movie Man says, my top movies this year so far are Doom Part 2 and A Cat's Life. The main reason I like this movie is because the kitty cat in the movie looks like my cat Abby. I've never heard of A Cat's Life. Is that like a dog's life, I imagine, or a dog's purpose? Is that what it was called? Maybe I'll have to check that one out, man. Talk to Gamer 51. Do you have any tips on getting a girlfriend, Zach? I'm the worst person to ask for that, man. I'm the worst person to ask for how to get a girlfriend. God bless my wife. Bless my wife. My wife made the first move. Like, full transparency, my wife made the first. I mean, even asked me to go do the Secret Santa thing. My wife made the first move. Every girl I ever almost was close to maybe getting into a relationship with either moved away, or I found out she didn't actually like me and I was a fool. So I'm the worst person to ask. I don't have any tips for getting a girlfriend. Just be, like, I would say just be kind and friendly, but then they think that you're just a friend, apparently. So honestly, single life and navigating all that was not for me. God blessed me. God was like, you know what, Zach, you can't be single. It's not going to work for you. I'm going to give you this girl. She's going to make the first move and she'll be perfect for you. And then you can just get married and not have to worry about it anymore. And thank God. Thank you, God. But yeah, I'm sorry, man. I really don't have any tips to getting a girlfriend. Just, I don't know. Be friendly and nice. Maybe you won't be in the friend zone. I don't know, man. Good luck to all of you. I honestly, I feel for you because I know what it was like. Enviro 2, it's the 20th anniversary of Spider-Man 2, I believe. That's crazy. 20 years. Crazy. Almost saw that in theaters, but then I didn't. And 20 years since the Lost TV show started. Crazy. Talking with 51 says, also, I just realized you're almost at 3,000 subscribers. Congrats. Yeah, thank you all. Thank you guys, all of you, for subscribing and sharing and liking and all the stuff that you're doing for the channel. We're getting there. Slowly but surely, we're approaching 3,000. And it's very exciting. I'm hoping that this isn't broken. It's very exciting. Very exciting. Enviro 2 says, it's also 20 years since Harry Potter 3, Prisoner of Azkaban. I feel old. Do you? I would feel old if I saw that as a kid, but I didn't watch it till I was 18. So that doesn't really hit me, but I could see how that would hit you. Absolutely. Collector Man Movie says, so true. Quentin Tarantino is amazing. There are some of his movies I don't really care for, but a lot of them I like. Yeah, he's a master. He's awesome. Enviro 2, do you believe that Alec Baldwin should have ended up going to jail? No, I don't. Yeah, the trial for Rust ended, and it was just a bad situation all the way around. The armorer, she ended up getting 18 months in prison, which for a life loss is pretty light, but it's such a tricky situation because it was an accident. There was no evil intent. It just happened, but someone did die. So I think it just has to be. But Alec Baldwin, I know that he was the producer on the film. I know he hired her, but he really didn't do anything wrong, I would say. I mean, the armorer was there to make sure that the weapon was safe to use on set, and she failed to do that. And she gave the gun to Alec Baldwin. She claimed it cold gun. Alec Baldwin had every reason to trust her. You can argue that. You can argue Alec Baldwin should have checked it or not. Maybe. I've never been on a set that involves using a gun and blanks. So maybe actors just don't have to check it themselves. Maybe they do. I don't know. Bottom line is it was her job to make sure it was safe, and she didn't. So I feel bad for everyone involved. I feel bad for the woman who lost her life. I feel bad for her family. I feel bad for the armorer going to prison for 18 months. I really do. I thought Her statement was really heartbreaking, and the fact that she was like looking after her father who has cancer, and now she's in prison, and it's very likely her father will pass away while she's in prison. It's just a bad situation all the way around. My heart goes out to everyone involved, and yeah. But I don't think that Alec Baldwin should go to jail. I think justice was served as best as it could be in a situation like this, to be honest. And you know, maybe you disagree, but that's just my thoughts on it. Toscan with 331 says, did you ever ride the Velocicoaster on Jurassic Park Land at Universal? I don't think so. I don't think maybe Jurassic Park Land wasn't there when I went. Nathan John Movie says, thoughts on the Transformers G.I. Joe movie? I think it's way too soon. I think G.I. Joe is a dead franchise. I don't think people care about G.I. Joe anymore. I especially think the younger generation doesn't care about G.I. Joe. And the Transformers movies after Michael Bay, they've kind of been mediocre at the box office at best. They haven't been blowing up the box office. They haven't been smash hits since Michael Bay left. You know, read into that as you will. I think it's it'll be interesting to see if people turn out for it, because I feel like you need to build the G.I. Joe up again as their own brand before you cross them over with Transformers. I don't know how excited many people will be for a Transformers G.I. Joe movie at the moment, but we'll see. Collector Movie Man says Alec Baldwin did not pull the trigger. It was somebody else, so no, Alec Baldwin shouldn't go to jail. I mean, I don't remember if that detail is correct or not, but I'm just going to trust that it is, man, and if so, I get it. Chillmonger says he wouldn't cancel the film if he didn't have this restrictive 10 rule. Yeah, I mean, it's true. He wouldn't, but he does. I don't know why he feels so strongly about it. I remember there was an interview he did where Quentin Tarantino talked about how, like, after 10 movies, directors' movies go downhill or they're not as good, which I don't know. I'd like to see the stats on that, the facts on that, because, I mean, Martin Scorsese, he's still doing pretty well. Steven Spielberg, he's still putting out bangers, so I don't really know where his knowledge for that is coming from, but it's his thoughts. Enviro2 says, I thought he did pull the trigger. He was holding and pointing the gun. I thought so too. I can't really remember. Zach Attack Reviews says, I don't get this rule at all. Yeah, me neither. I don't think many people do, but it's something he holds near and dear to his heart. So, Collector Movie Man says, I don't know who it was who pulled the trigger, but it wasn't him. Okay, yeah, Alec Baldwin. Toxic Gamer 331 says, what did you think are 3 saddest and most shocking movie deaths of all time? The 3 saddest and most shocking? You got to put Mufasa up there. I'd put Janet Leigh in there, in Psycho, the shower scene. I think I'd put her in there. And saddest movie. I mean, Macaulay Culkin and My Girl. Oh, dude, with all the bees and the funeral and the girl crying over his body that he needs his glasses. That scene kills me. That's definitely up there for sure. Toxic Gamer 331 says, have you ever seen Young Frankenstein, Zach? If so, what are your thoughts on it? I have seen Young Frankenstein. It's hilarious. I think it's really funny, and it got even funnier for me once I went back and watched some more of the old classic monster movies. Yeah, Young Frankenstein's hilarious, and Gene Wilder is great in it. Enviro2 says, it was definitely him. There were witnesses in set, but he didn't load the gun. Yes, that's true. Toxic Gamer 331 says, and same for Spaceballs and Robin Hood Men in Tights. I've only seen some of Robin Hood Men in Tights. I never finished it, but Spaceballs is like possibly my favorite parody movie of all time. I love Spaceballs. Every time I watch Spaceballs and I watch some new sci-fi movie, I get something new out of Spaceballs. It's not just Star Wars and Star Trek. It's great. I love Spaceballs. Nathan John Movie says, after Lego Movie turning 10, how would you rank the 4 theatrical Lego movies? Well, I never saw, what was it, Ninjago? Lego Ninjago? I never saw Lego Ninjago, so I saw Lego Movie 2, and Batman. So I would probably go Lego Movie, Batman, and then Lego Movie 2. Lego Movie 2 wasn't that great, to be honest. Toxic Gamer 331 says, have you seen the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre? I don't know personally why it's still R nowadays, because most of it's just disturbing and most of the gore is just cutaway. I've never seen it because I've never brought myself to see it. I'm terrified to watch it, but maybe one day. Maybe one day I will. Enviro2 says, which leads me to my next question. Do you think really famous celebrities such as Reese Witherspoon or Leonardo DiCaprio could murder someone with no or little consequences? They'd have consequences. If they flat out murdered someone, they would have consequences. Whether or not they'd have a cushier lifestyle in prison, because they'd have the money and they could funnel the money through, maybe. You could argue that would be little to no consequence, but they'd still be in prison. They would still go to prison. Yeah, I believe that. At least I want to believe that. Talks Game with 331 says, I still can't believe Guardians of the Galaxy and Captain America the Winter Soldier turned 10 this year. I'm not even old, and that makes me feel old. Yeah, Captain America Winter Soldier turned 10 years old. I remember seeing that in theaters opening day with my dad, and it blew us away. It was not what we expected it to be. Talks Game with 331 says, did you ever see the See No Evil trailer with James McAvoy? I did not. I apologize. Enviro2 says, T.I., my favorite rapper, was fired from Ant-Man 3. Oh, bummer, dude. What was he fired? I don't remember that story at all. Talks Game with 331 says, what are 3 movie villains you hated so much and wanted to see them die? And what are some 3 villains you actually sympathized with and wanted to see the villain succeed? That's a tough question. I don't know if I have time to answer that or even think about that. I hated so much that I wanted to see die. Definitely Kurtwood Smith in is that his name? Smith Kurtwood, maybe? I don't know. In RoboCop, I wanted to see him die so badly. It was great. What are some other great villains you just love to hate? I mean, I don't know. I can't dwell on that for too long, man. I apologize. I'd have to think about that one. Enviro2 says, I want a Defenders movie with Charlie Cox, Kristen Ritter, and Mike Coulter. Maybe Finn Jones. I don't know if they'll do a Defenders movie after the Defenders Netflix show. I really don't know if they'll ever do that. Enviro2 says, he's pretty privileged to turn down a Marvel movie. Dude needs a reality check. He's pretty privileged to turn down a Marvel movie. Dude needs a reality check. Who is that? Who turned down a Marvel movie? I'm sorry. I'm not sure who that is. Nathan Red Movie says, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, X-Men Days of Future Past, Edge of Tomorrow, How to Train Your Dragon 2, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, John Wick, Equalizer, Fury, Interstellar. What do they all have in common? They turned 10 this year. Crazy. John Wick is probably the most shocking one. How to Train Your Dragon 2 is pretty shocking, and so is Dawn. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, 10 years old. Man, I remember anticipating that in middle school. That's crazy. Oh, that's crazy. Talks Game with 331 says, I'm a head out now. Thanks for everything you do, man. Giving all of us such great entertainment as always from a great guy. And even though I haven't seen you in person, I can be glad to call you a great friend. But with that being said, I hope everyone has a great rest of the night. And with that being said, well, thank you so much, dude. Thank you, Toxic Gamer. And back at you, my friend. The show was made better because you were a part of it, dude. And I appreciate you. You have a great night, my friend. Collector Man Movie says, there are the movies I have left to see for the year. Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Joker 2, Deadpool 3. Oh, A Quiet Place Day 1. I forgot about that one. I'm looking forward to that one. Twisters, Fall Guy looks fun. And Beetlejuice. Very good. Very good. Enviro 2 says, who would you choose to play Zach Milne in a biopic? Who would play your wife and who would direct? Ooh, I would pick Rachel McAdams to play my wife. You just got to take my word on that. I think she looks like Rachel McAdams. And for me, who would play me? Who would play this guy? Jesse Plemons. I don't know. I just like Jesse Plemons. I'll choose Jesse Plemons. Maybe can I choose yeah, I'll just stick with Jesse Plemons. I don't know why. I just will. Collector Movie Man says, Horizon and American Saga Chapter 1 and 2 directed by Kevin Costner and also stars Kevin Costner, The Challengers, Gladiator 2, Wolf starring Brad Pitt and George Clooney. Oh yeah, I forgot about that Kevin Costner movie coming out. And Wolf, that is John Watts doing that, right? From the Spider-Man films. Enviro 2 says Spider-Man doesn't do badly with women. He got Kirsten Dunst, Emma Stone, and Zendaya. I mean, that's fair. That is fair. More than I ever would. But you know what? He had to become a superpowered being to get them. So, you know. Zack Attack Review says, I see a lot of Clark Kent in you. I'll take that. I'll take Superman. You know what's funny? My wife says that too. She says that she sees Clark Kent. Nathan's Random Movie says, will you watch Rebel Moon 2 this weekend? Is that this weekend? I completely forgot. Maybe. Yeah, I will. I'll watch it. I gotta watch it. I watched part 1. I'll watch part 2. I'll do a review on it. Man, there's a lot to review this weekend. There's Abigail. There's the Warfare of Angelina. There's Guy Ritchie's movie. There is Rebel Moon 2. Wow, that's crazy. I'm gonna be busy this weekend. Kenny Sparks, what's going on? Ken, thanks for joining, man. Says Truth, Justice, and the Canadian Way. That's right. That's right. Nothing more, nothing less. Zack Attack Review says, I agree on Borderlands feeling like Dungeons and Dragons. I really hope so, man. That's what I'm hoping for. Collective Movie Man says, Nosferatu and Wicked is the last one. Wicked looks okay. The trailer kind of made it look like a made-for-TV movie, in my opinion. I don't know why. It just looked kind of like overblown with light and stuff, so I don't know. But I'll check it out. Nathan's Random Movies says, Borderlands is directed by Eli Roth, the guy that did Thanksgiving last year. Will you watch that movie on Thanksgiving like I did? Probably not. I'll probably watch it one day, though, but probably not on Thanksgiving. Kenny Sparks is saying, just saw Abigail tonight. I'm happy to say I had a great time with it. It's a lot of fun. Awesome, Ken. That's what we want to hear. Thank you so much for bringing that into the chat, man. I'm looking forward to it. Zack Tag Reviews says, could have sworn Jim Carrey's character was in an after credit scene in Sonic 2. No, Shadow was in an after credit scene, but I don't think Robotnik was. I thought they mentioned Robotnik because they're looking for him, and I think they mentioned that they didn't find the body, but he wasn't in it. Enviro 2 says, Uncle Ben from Spider-Man 1 is the most sad. That's a good one. That is, I don't know why I don't consider that the most sad. It doesn't really get me very much, but that is a good one. Collective Movie Man says, do you think Taylor Swift is going to have a cameo as Dazzle in Deadpool 3? I really don't. I know a lot of people think that she will, but I just don't. It feels like something that would pull you out of the movie, and I just don't feel like they would do that. Zack Attack Review says, Tom Holland's Infinity War death gets me every time. Yeah, I guess I don't really think of that one because he comes back, but yeah, that one definitely gets me. That whole snapping and dusting scene is phenomenal, and that tore me up in the theater. Man, that was good. Kenny Sparks says Logan is a good choice for sad death, but I'm going to go with Professor X from the same movie. I find that one kind of, I don't know, I'm a little frustrated by that one because the clone of Logan stabs him. It is pretty sad that like he thinks that Logan's the one that killed him and like just like had enough of him and so he ended it. Maybe I'll have to reevaluate that one actually because I never really thought about it that much, but it didn't really get me in the theater. But maybe I have to watch that one again. Zack Tag Review says, Taylor Swift is Dazzler. Look, I'm not going to fall out of my seat if they do it. Because every argument that someone's made as to why they would do it, I totally can see the value in it. But I just don't think they will. In a movie that already seems like it's going to be jam-packed, I just don't know if you throw that in. Enviro 2 says, Ben Affleck is done with the superhero genre. I can't blame him after it all. Yeah, I mean, like, he got some of the worst ends of it. His Daredevil's not loved. His Batman's more loved than Daredevil, but the movies his Batman is in is not very loved. Poor guy. I feel bad for him. Kenny Sparks says, rank this weekend's movies in order of excitement. Abigail, Ungently Man of Warfare, Sasquatch Sunset, and Rebel Moon. Well, I mean, number one is Sasquatch Sunset. I cannot wait for Sasquatch Sunset. I love Bigfoot. That's like my secret little thing is I love listening to stories and conspiracy theories about Bigfoot. My friends and family make fun of me all the time for it. In reality, I'm gonna say Ungently Warfare is my number one, followed by Abigail, followed by Sasquatch Sunset, and then Rebel Moon Part 2. Yeah, that's what I'll say. Actually, you know what? Maybe Abigail's number one because I'm gonna see that first, and I have the option not to. So I'll put Abigail, then Ungently Warfare, then Rebel Moon, and then then Sasquatch Sunset, and then Rebel. Actually, the exact order you have that question in is how I would rank them. That's really funny. Enviro 2 says a list of actors who got screwed over in superhero franchises: Henry Cavill, Dwayne Johnson, Dylan Baker, Lizard from the Raimi films. Oh yeah, he didn't even get a chance. Jared Leto, Ben Affleck twice, and Joe Manganiello and Roy Fisher. I will also include in that. And now I'm blanking on his name. Crap. Shoot. I keep thinking Matthew Broderick, but it's not Matthew Broderick. Superman Returns. Who's the guy in Superman Returns? Brandon Routh. I will also include Brandon Routh. I mean, you think about it. You get the role of Superman. You're taking it over from Christopher Reeves. You're continuing the story. And it didn't go anywhere. And the movie didn't do well. And people didn't really respond to his Superman. Yeah, I would add him to the list as well. But those are all very good picks. Very good picks. Kenny Sparks says, Bad Boys, Pursuit of Happiness, Men in Black, Independence Day, and I Am Legend. I mean, that's a good one. Independence Day. I do enjoy Independence Day. Men in Black is definitely in there for me. I Am Legend I had in there, yep. Nathan Van Movie says, I have never seen Apocalypse Now. Is it good? My dad loves it. Never seen it myself, so you'll have to tell me, anyone who's seen it. Zach Tech reviews for his Will Smith movies: Pursuit of Happiness, I Am Legend, Hitch, Hancock, 7 Pounds. Ooh, Hitch and Hancock. Those are good ones to put in there as well. Man, when he puts that man's head up that guy's butt in Hancock. That terrified me as a kid. Collector Movie Man says, I just hit 263 movies. That includes 4K, Blu-ray, and DVDs. I should be at 300 by the end of May. Awesome, dude. That's amazing. Enviro2 says, Andrew Garfield got screwed over, but also made up for it in No Way Home. That's a good point. Oh, there you go. Brandon Routh, George Clooney, and Halle Berry as well. All great picks, man. Those are all very solid, great picks. I agree with them all. Nathan's Random Movie says, how would you rank the Guy Ritchie films you have seen? I can't think off the top of my head which ones I've seen, so I'm sorry. I won't be able to answer that right now. Enviro2, Wonder Woman 2017. That was your favorite. Okay, fair enough, dude. I mean, Wonder Woman is great. I have a problem with the third act, but it's good. It's really good. Enviro2 says, do you think reboots and sequels are lazy? Heroes, NBC, and Prison Break are getting full reboots, but in the same universe, Daredevil is sort of a reboot. I don't know. That's a tricky question. Was Empire Strikes Back lazy? Was The Thing lazy? That's a remake. That's a reboot. I mean, there's definitely examples, I would say. I mean, Prey. Is Prey lazy? I don't think Prey is lazy. I don't think it's a black and white question. I think there's situations where, yeah, they definitely are lazy and they think they can just get a quick buck out of it, because it was popular, so we can make it popular. But there's also examples where I think they legit had a passion and had an idea and a drive to do a remake or to do a reboot or to do a sequel. So, yeah, they can be both creatively charged and they can be both lazy. I don't think it's a black and white answer. So that's my answer to that. Kenny Sparks says Deep Blue Sea is fun as hell. I've heard that. I've heard nothing but that. I gotta check it out one day. Nathan Van Ruby says, have you seen The Last of Us now? You're not gonna believe it. I've not. I can't believe I've not seen that yet. I just totally forgot about it, honestly. Too much streaming shows, man. I can't keep up with it all. It's too crazy. But yes, I will watch that before season 2. I can promise that. I will definitely watch The Last of Us season 1 before season 2 because I got like 2 years. So I'm sure at some point in the 2 years, I'm going to be able to watch The Last of Us. Collector Movie Man says, I would definitely like to see Jeff Goldblum back for the new Jurassic Park movies. They did it with Jurassic World. It was fun to see. Leave it alone. Honestly, just leave it alone. That I think is lazy. That I think is lazy. Just bringing those characters in because you're going to get a cheap pop. I don't think so. Enviro2 says, did you see the latest Drake and Josh drama? Drake revealed his abuse and Josh made a really weird TikTok. People think he's in drugs. Okay, that's not... Yes, I saw that whole stupid thing. Drake. First of all, I've been following a lot of Drake Bell's stuff. I'm a fan of Drake Bell. So I'm keeping up with all that stuff. Josh Peck made the TikTok, blah, blah, blah. I know, I saw all that stuff. But Drake Bell even came out himself and said they're talking behind the scenes. Josh has been very supportive, and the TikTok meant nothing, and he told people to back off. So that's a non-story. Nothing important. Enviro2 says Josh said he doesn't want to speak to Drake anymore, basically. Drake seems like a nicer human. I agree. Drake does seem like the nicer one. Josh Peck sometimes gets on my irks a little bit. There's something about him. I think he's entertaining and funny, but there's also sometimes where I think he seems like a real jerk. Sometimes. But I love them both. They're from my childhood. Drake and Josh, I'll always love them. And nothing will make me happier if one day they can mend the bridge and share the screen together again. Whether it be a YouTube video, whether it be a quick little Instagram reel, I don't care. I just want to see them be friends again. That's all I want in life, is for them to be friends again. Nathan Jenner Movie says, here's a fun one. What is a movie you watched with your wife that you loved but she hated, or vice versa? I don't have a wife. I'm 14. For me and my friends, pretty much any horror movie. Oh my goodness, dude. I could name so many movies that my wife and I don't agree on. There's the ones that we do that I'm surprised of. Like I showed her Edge of Tomorrow, and she now is a fanatic for Edge of Tomorrow. She loves Edge of Tomorrow. I thought she was really going to like Miss Marvel. She couldn't stand Miss Marvel. What was the question again? Movie that you've watched with your wife that you loved but she hated, and vice versa. Yeah, well, when I showed her The Flash, she hated it. She hated The Flash. Which, she wasn't alone in, but I liked The Flash. I was surprised how much she hated it. Let's see here. What's some other ones? Oh man, it's tricky. I don't know why I'm blank. There's a movie. What's it called? What's what's it called? It's on the plane. Red Eye? That sounds familiar. Red Eye. Yeah, Red Eye. I like Red Eye. She did not. She did not like Red Eye at all. She loved Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I do not like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and sometimes I have to watch it with her. And I sit through it, and I say, I love you, baby. But this is torture. And she says, I know. I think she likes to torture me. I think it's probably watch it so much on. I don't think it's because she loves it so much. I think it's because she knows I hate it so much. I think she forces me to watch it. Other than that, I'm trying to think of other examples that I just can't at the moment. We'll move on. Collector Movie Man says the one casting I'm really excited for is for the new DC movies as the actress who plays young. Ooh, I'm not gonna be able to say that. Targaryen Millie Alok. I don't know what we're saying right now, but I appreciate the comment, man. Thank you so much. Nathan's Venom Movie says, all right, have a good night, Zach. Great stream as always. Time to finish the last half of Hereditary. Enjoy Abigail. Good night. Well, dude, same to you. Enjoy Hereditary. Sleep with the lights on tonight. I promise you'll probably have to. But yeah, dude, thanks so much for being here. The show was made better because you were a part of it as always, dude. And I appreciate you, my friend. Have a great night. Kenny Sparks says, did you have a goal for the amount of 2024 movies you want to see? If so, what's your progress so far? I'm 33 out of 100. You're doing very well. Last year, I saw, I think, 60 movies, if I remember correctly. Last year, it was 2023. I have 66. Okay, so I had 66 films in 2023. At the moment, I'm at 17 films for 2024. I want to hit 70. I want to jump it up by 10. Oh, no, that's not 10. I saw 66. I want to do 70 to 80. I want to jump it up. I definitely want to beat last year, but I'm definitely I don't see myself getting like some people. Like, you're already at 33, dude. Congratulations, that's awesome. Some people will hit 100 movies by like August. I will not hit 100 movies by August. I probably won't hit 100 movies for the whole year, but I think it'd be pretty cool to hit 70 or 80 this year. Collector Movie Man says, you have a good night, Zach. I'll definitely check out your live stream this weekend. All right, man. Yeah, $2.99 on the members page, and $6.99 if you're over the age of 18, if you want to jump on the show and talk with us live. Thank you so much for being here, dude. The show is made better because you were part of it, and I appreciate you, my friend. You have a good night. Zach Attack Reviews says, some of the best movies of all time are remakes, but people don't know that because the OG is super old. Very true. That is a very good point, Zach. I agree. Collector Movie Man also says, one thing I wanted to ask Zach, have you ever watched 2.5 Men? That show makes me laugh on the ground. Same with Friends and The Big Bang Theory. I've watched a couple episodes of 2.5 Men, but I watched the finale, the last episode of 2.5 Men. My parents had it on when it was airing, and I thought the finale for 2.5 Men was the worst finale for a show I've ever seen in my life. Maybe in the context of the show it made sense, but just sitting there watching it, I thought it was awful. I thought the whole thing was a troll. So I've just never even bothered going to watch the show because if that's how it ends, I don't want to get into the journey. Friends is my favorite show of all time. Friends is my favorite sitcom, so love Friends. Definitely have seen it. Big Bang Theory, I liked when it was airing. I recently, like last year, tried to go back and rewatch it, and it really runs out of steam for me around season 5, season 6. I think it loses a lot of what I like about it. So yeah, not the biggest fan of Big Bang Theory. Not really 2.5 Men, but Friends, love it. We'll always love it. Absolutely. Collector Movie Man says Last of Us Season 2 is coming in 2025. Okay, so next year. That's still a year. That still gives me time. I can catch up on Season 1. And our final topic, or our final comment, I should say, is Enviro Earth 2 saying, thanks, Zach. Bye. Well, that's very fitting, man, because you are the last comment in question, which means we did it. We got through the show. That was Zach Milne Talks Live, episode 82. Thank you guys so much for being here. Everyone in the chat, everyone who contributed with the comments and questions, giving us fun things to talk about. Thank you to everyone who super chatted. Very appreciative. Thank you so much for supporting the channel on that level. Guys, I'm seeing Abigail tomorrow. If not tomorrow, Friday. I'm not going to promise a review, but I'm pretty sure I'll have a review out this weekend, so keep your eyes open for that. Members is going to shoot this weekend. If you want to join, like I said, all the information is down in the description below. You can check it out. Otherwise, we'll have the episode up on Monday. Other than that, guys, we got a few other comments here that we'll go through really quickly. Kenny Sparks is saying, what's the movie review you're most proud of? What movie review was the hardest to record? Well, really quickly, I would say the one that I'm most proud of is I watched it recently. I really like my Jaws review, and I really like my why am I blanking on my review? That's a really good question. Anyways, the one that was the hardest to record was probably it was an older one. You know what? Actually, I don't even remember off the top of my head all of my reviews anymore. I think I've gotten to a point where I've done quite a few reviews that I don't really remember all of them anymore. But yeah, no, I definitely am proud of some of the older ones I've done. I'm really proud of a lot that I did last year. 2023, I was very proud of a lot of the reviews I put out. I feel like I really found my stride with a lot of my reviews from last year, so that was great. The Brandon C says the worst series finale I ever saw was How I Met Your Mother. It was bad, but it definitely wasn't the worst. Spoiler Kings, beloved channel members, thank you guys for being here. Says hello, coming in at the end of the stream. I'll be on the replay, gang. Well, thank you so much for joining. Anyways, guys, the show was made better because you were a part of it, and I appreciate you guys. Enviro2 says, is your wife a nerd? To some extent, but not as strong as I am. But she loves Spider-Man and she loves the MCU stuff, so that's where we really click. And then Spoiler King saying, Brandon, yeah, it was a bad one. Check out the alternate ending. It's much better, but How I Met Your Mother is one of my favorite shows. It's a hilarious show. It is so good, but yeah, the ending kind of tanks. All right, guys, with that was the show once again. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for contributing to the chat. As I said before, all the stuff still applies, and I will see you guys again next week. You all have a good night. We'll be back. Same exact time, same exact channel.